Welcome to Gehenna Gaming and Dark Days Radio presents Wrath and Glory, a live play of the Wrath and Glory revised game from Cubicle 7. This is session 2 of Dark Tides. I am one of the regular hosts of Dark Days Radio, Chris, and I'm joined by Ian from Gehenna Gaming. I am joined by David from Dark Days Radio. I'm joined by Crystal from Dark Days Radio. And I'm joined by Mike from Dark Days Radio. We are not joined today by Chick. He is off doing emergency stuff, so we will find some creative way to write his character out for this bit, which is at an appropriate point where it'll be easy enough.
Heresy doesn't sleep, so
yeah, he's going to get called off to adjudicate on someone. But obviously, if you want to catch up on this, you can go back to the previous episode, which is now available in Gehenna Gaming's YouTube. And obviously, if you want to learn more about the setting, about Warhammer RPGs, go over to Dark Days Radio to our Darkhammer episodes, and you can check out a plethora of stuff there, such as our recent review of Soulbound, which is an amazing new RPG set in the Age of Sigmar Mortal Realm setting for that Warhammer Age of Sigmar setting from Cubicle 7. Right. So quickly to round up what's gone on, they are part of the crew of Severina Veronius, who have part of a fleet of the Veronius fleet, which has come through to the Gilead sector, through the warp storms into the Imperium Noctilus, the Dark Imperium, and due to the warp storms that have cut off this part of the Imperium, and they have been brought to the world of Charybdion to investigate a series of murders amongst the nobility of the hive world on Hive Iden. And of course, things have gone not quite as planned. It seems like some noble has basically had the whole series of murders pinned on them. Everything's considered to be inter-house rivalry between the nobility, but the crew, the investigators here, have been tasked to delve a little deeper because clearly something else is going on, and Lord Veronius is not satisfied with the conclusions made so far by the nobility here and their investigators. So currently, in the hive, above the wall, in the Adeptus Mechanicus main dome, where they process and make various machinery, equipment, and so forth, the group have been talking to a tech priest of some standing. His name is Magus Kabarast. He is covered in mechadendrites and all various forms of cybernetic augmentation. And he explained to the group the nature of the oil, the nature of the spongy green flecks, and he explained that the likely route that the murderer, the killer, has been getting into the upper hive from the lower hive is through a rail yard transit station. On this side of the wall, it is manned by, or at least it is led by a crew who are led by a person called Ivil Crete. And Magos Kabarast gave the recommendation of submit queries to Ivil Crete before biomass euthanized for spare servitor parts. Given this information, I believe the group are ready to go off and investigate the rail yards there. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. I think Commissar Danica is kind of leading this part of the operation, correct?
Correct, because we're not going down to the lower hive just yet.
Not just yet, no. And you have been assigned Servitor Unit K98 to guide you to the Subjunction Intendant Ivil Crete at Shunt Station SJST 386. And that is where we will most probably continue on from. Obviously, noting that Chig is not present, his character, Sister, was it Marianne's? Yes, Mariana. She is not present. She has been communicated to by Kabarast a quick communication through the Voxcom that she is to attend a an adjudication on a let's just say on a guilder who has been found guilty of heresy, and because she is a member of the Adeptus Sororitas that is present, it's been given over to her to perform the execution, which is obviously going to be a bolt gun round to the head, because yay. So that's what she's doing while you guys are heading off into the hive.
You get to have all the fun.
All the fun, I know. Anyway,
I'm sure Rufio will help you out here somehow. he'll give you reason to have some fun at some point.
So, you are led out of the Magus' sanctum by K98 and taken to a heavy-duty cargo transport, the type of transports that bring up into the upper hive vast quantities of processed algae that is used as a foodstuff for the armies of the Imperium and other worlds, like the main hive world of Gilead. And you set off on this, you find it's not very clean, it's rusting, it's covered in oil or grime or grease. And you find somewhere to sit along with other workers, and you set off towards the industrial zones of Hive Iden. So you're in the upper hive, so here you're getting closer to the wall, so you're heading downwards. You can tell because anytime that the train system does weave in and out of the spires that make up the hive, and you do see anything of the outside world, you realize you're now below a certain strata of the atmosphere, and it's now the atmosphere is much denser, thicker, and you can smell the seawater from the oceans still far below, likely a mile below. And this area, of course, is dimly illuminated. There's the occasional flashing yellow hazard lights, and there are work sites. There's the sparking of arc welders as various workers are reconstructing the outer walls of the hive, which are constantly being, decaying due to the atmosphere, or they're, building or rebuilding various pieces of equipment and machinery and factories. Despite the industrial nature of the area, it's kept relatively clear of debris and construction. So it's a well-maintained, there's well-maintained foundries, chemical processing plants, and there are servitors crawling all over the place. Some have mechanical limbs, some have tracks for legs. All of them, of course, are these slowly necrotic bodies that have been augmented because these are slaves that have been turned into machines.
May I ask, what is our servitor K98 kind of look like?
K98 has got tracks for legs. Half his face is augmentically enhanced with various, ocular implants, and to enhance his brain functions. He has a mechanized arm, power loader arm, and the other arm, while still mainly flesh, ends with fairly dexterous mechanical implementations to manipulate, control panels and so forth. He's slightly more well maintained, given that he often returns to the Magus' Adeptus Mechanicus sanctum.
Okay.
Obviously, the noise down here is deafening. There's the constant, there's flashes of lightning that you see either internally from various power supplies, or externally due to the lightning storms that, ravage the seas. Eventually, you've traveled miles and miles. You don't know how far you've gone. Time has been a bit of a blur. But eventually the transport stops, and K98 is actually in control of the transport. And the bulkhead doors before the train open up, and the train comes into what is essentially a rail yard. There are trains upon trains upon trains, all at different levels. There are rails which are going to intersect or split off at different areas. There are some workers here, and there is obviously large amounts of cargo being brought in and off these trains. This is Shunt Station SJST386. You get out of the train, and of course, there is still a wall of noise, and the there's the rushing of air created by the clanking of trains and carriages that are moving up and down the rail tracks. There's even some contraptions that move the rails like that to change over which route they're taking. So there's like whole rotating drums of trains almost. Yes, so you get off the carriage, and there is a main. You can follow the network of platforms and walkways, and there is a main area, like a cabin, which overlooks the entire facility, which is the control center, which is where you assume Crete will be there. And it's illuminated, and there's glass windows, but there's walkways leading up to it.
Yeah. As we're kind of approaching this command center, Rufio, the Beastman tactical officer of the group, would like to just kind of survey the security situation. Take a look at where cameras are, if there's any turrets, any fields of some sort that might be blocking or preventing passage or something like that.
At this stage, there is no obvious security. This is just a rail yard to unload on cargo before it goes to before it heads down to the wall, where there is obvious enforcer security that will deal with anything. So there's no obvious cameras that you can see, nothing like that. There's no picked devices.
Right.
But there are workers, obviously. There are a number of workers in overalls that are filth, covered in filth. Some are controlling a gimbal, which is bringing over a large pipe which deposits algae into or extracts algae, either way, into the trains before they head off to wherever they're meant to be processed. So, how do you want to approach this? How do you want to how do you want to approach Crete? I mean, obviously, you are dressed as you are. You are dressed as a commissar. You are dressed as a beastman in a hood to disguise your abhuman looks. And of course, David, you are a Skitari.
Yeah, I'm a robot.
Yep. So your Fortran is clearly wearing the red robes and various mechanical things, and Weir has obviously got some Baroque gold mask on, isn't it? I believe
it's a skull.
A skull with inlaid gold. Yeah,
inlaid gold and silver. Yep, and then a black long cloak.
Yeah, you almost look like a priest.
Almost.
Because they can't see your swords that are under your coat. Excellent.
Stabby sticks.
My stabby sticks, yes. From that point, actually, before we fully approach, I want to split away from the group slightly and try to not be seen by him as we approach him, if possible.
Okay. So you're going to do some stealth. So this is quite interesting, the way the stealth system in this game works. So the first thing is you want to make a stealth test, which is going to be using your stealth plus athletics as a test. And you just need to get plenty of successes.
Remind me how rolling works in Warhammer.
So you're going to roll a number of d6,
yep.
One of which will be a wrath die. Mm-hmm. Any score of a 4 or more is a success, is an icon. If you score 6, it's an exalted icon. Any 6s that are at this point for this roll, you're not going to put them into glory because you're going to need everything to sneak around.
So that would actually be 4 successes with a 6. 4 total.
Okay. So 4 total. So you got 3 successes and a 6, which made it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So the way this works then is you've rolled that, and then we have to compare it to the passive awareness of the workers and everyone else around, which is a passive awareness, which is of 3 for this, which means you've passed. You sneak off. You slink into the shadows. because you're incredibly dexterous, and also your clothing is blacker than black kind of job. You know, you're wearing a Vanta black cloak, which means you have no literally you can't see they can only see the outline of your shadow. You are a shadow. There is no shape that you can discern from this cloak. I mean, if you bring your hood up around your face, that is literally you just disappearing. And your stealth score that you've rolled for this is a 4. Keep it in mind, because it can go up and down as you do things in this, as you do stuff. So if you whisper anything or ready a quiet weapon, that will be a -1, so your score will go down to a 3. If you talk softly or ready a weapon with moving parts like a gun or reload, that's a -2, etc., etc., etc. Now, if you hide, if you stay still, you gain a further +1d to your stealth test when attempting to hide. So in other words, you could roll an extra d and we can see if it gets you an extra score, because you just blend in even more.
Okay.
But for the purposes, you have disappeared from the site. You have drifted away from the group. And where are you heading?
I'm going to follow the group, but essentially...
just shadow them.
So when he sees them, he doesn't see me. And I also want to note that I have silent, so I can move at full speed without reducing my stealth score.
That's pretty amazing. You literally are just
really
darting. Cool. You're darting between cargo boxes and trains, and people look in your direction and they don't see you and keep walking because your cloak is that black. Also, the lighting is shite. Let's be honest. So yeah. Okay. As for the others. Commissar, what's the plan?
Fortran, do you want to take the head on this one?
Look at what I can do.
Similar to you, isn't he?
Ivan Crete is a tech adept. That means he is part of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah, he's kind of like our priest in a way, kind of with the priesty part of it. I'm trying to remember why we're going to see this guy now.
Because he has information about what's going on in the lower hive, I believe.
Right. Yeah. I will just walk straight up to him.
You're going to head up.
So he's at the command center, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll walk straight up to the command center, not really paying any attention to anybody else walking around. Just
he's the one that controls the train that comes from the lower hive up, and that's the train that they're suspecting that the killer is traveling from.
Yeah, that's correct.
So that's the information that we need to get from him.
Okay, so you basically walk up the gantries and the steps, and you make your way up to the main center. You appear the business. No one has any reason to suspect what you're doing. And are you just going to walk in? Are you going to rap on the bulkhead door?
Commissar, recommend just walking in.
I was just thinking, I'm gonna walk in, but as I walk in, tap the bulkhead door with the butt, not the butt, but the
rifle. I will be right to your side.
Okay.
Standing there with my arms crossed.
So you open the door and you walk in, having rapped upon it, and inside are a number of workers that are controlling various mechanisms that move and control the movement of the trains and the routes they're taking. And Ivan Crete is there. He has a rough, haggard face, common as to most of the labor-intensive workers found in the hive. Deep-set, tired eyes. His hair is unkempt and he is unshaven. He wears the same bulky protective clothing as the rest of the workforce, and no insignia. None is needed, as all the people here he works with are family relations. So clearly, he has employed people through nepotism. And he turns around, looking at you. Can I help? This is a restricted area for this subjunction. Oh, Commissar. And he just stands at attention. How can I help you, Commissar?
We have a couple questions that we need answered.
Questions? Sure. This isn't a military installation, but I can help you as much as possible, I guess.
It may not be a military installation, however, it's still overseen by, I shouldn't have to reiterate exactly the chain of command.
Of course. How can I help?
I'll motion to Fortran.
Tech adept. I hear you are in control of the train.
I'm in control of the subjunction, that's correct.
And these people who work with you, you know them well?
They're all they're all well known to me. They're all trusted by me.
Are they followers of the machine, Dalt?
We give the correct blessings as the Omnissiah expects to all machine and machine spirits that pass through the subjunction. Every train is blessed before it moves on.
So if I check these trains, we will find nothing untowards about them.
Are you suggesting that we're doing something illegal and against the laws of the Adeptus Ministratum?
Well, we have heard that certain people are getting through these junctions from the lower hive, through the wall, up and down without being recorded. There is missing. I assume that the machines are blessed and the machines are kept in full working order, and if they are, then you have no problems. If, however, they are not up to standard, this could lead to a breach in security. Data security is lacking.
You're suggesting I'm smuggling people. I understand that's illegal, and that's if I did that would send me into incarceration for at least 2 cycles by the enforcers.
I am not suggesting you have done anything. I am just asking, are you aware of other trains are the machine spirits fully satisfied? Are they kept up to date?
At which point I'm going to ask, where's everyone else? So, Crystal, the commissar stood there. She's got her cane under her cane that she obviously picked up last session under her arm.
Oh, yes.
Are you suspicious in any way? Is your hand ready on a gun?
I am not going to have my hand ready on a gun yet. However, I am going to be watching for any deception.
Okay. And Rufio, what's Rufio doing?
Rufio's just kind of looking around, maybe like poking a couple of the servitors that are doing data entry or whatever.
Okay. And what is Weir doing? Where is he?
I would have made my way behind him.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how you could get into the chamber without being seen, into the command center without being seen. So
I'm assuming that I know Weir well enough to know what he's trying to do, and I would angle my body for him to be able to pass behind me.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I figured once they moved in, he would be focusing on them. I could slip in and around.
Okay. Sure, okay. So you're not doing anything else, you're just walking in and being absolutely quiet.
Yes.
And just finding somewhere dark or nearly dark.
Yes, as dark as possible behind him.
Okay. Right. Now the question is, so Crystal, you said, is he telling the truth or not? So I think you're going to need to make a test of some sort. I'm trying to think of the test off the top of my head, which skill it would use. What's the list of skills we've got? We should have... Insight would be the one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't steal all my dice rolls this week. I want to get at least one
I
success.
have 2 successes, 1 is a 6. Nothing on my wrath die.
Okay. You can't really... It's very hard to read his face. You're not too sure whether he's telling the truth or not.
Okay.
I could, yeah. If you want to go check out the trains, then what was your name again, Skitari officer?
I'm ID Fortran 77L.
ID Fortran. By all means, have a look for yourself.
I will check your data, and I move off to. Is there like any kind of comm stations?
Yeah, there's cogitation.
Plug
There's
into.
cogitation centers where you can start looking at the data. Yeah. So
Yeah, can I go?
You can make a tech roll.
Yep, sure. If my dice rolling is as bad as last week. Ooh. I've got 2 6s. One of them is on the wrath dice.
2 6s, one of which is on the wrath die. Okay, yeah, you've done pretty well. Yeah, it doesn't take you that long to go through, and on the picked screen, illuminated in green, is all the data, and you can quite clearly see that his bookkeeping is not very good. You can see where he's been forging using his ident, the comings and goings of certain trains.
Tech Adept Ival. These are not up to standard. You have doctored these results. The machine spirit is not pleased.
Right.
Commissar, recommend incarceration immediate.
He looks shocked and then just looks at the other men in the room with him and goes to pull his auto gun out of his cloak, out of his coat. At which point, I'm sure, you are clearly going to go first on the initiative with this. So normally with combat, the way it goes is you guys will have a turn, then I will have a turn, back and forth, back and forth. It's that simple. You can use, I think you use Glory or it's Wrath, one or the other. You need it should say on the sheet to take the initiative, so you can go before the opponents. Obviously, because Weir is stealthed and no one saw him whatsoever, he gets a free action right before this. So it's basically Weir, then one of you guys, then it's them. So essentially, you guys get 2 turns before anyone else gets to act. So Weir, what do you want to do?
I'm going to draw my 2 Death Cult Power Blades.
Yep.
And I'm not going to attack him, but I am going to cross them against his neck.
Wow, you're going to pin him. So you're going to pin him that quickly. Okay, let's see. This counts as surprise. So I think you essentially should get a bonus on this. Let me just find. So you'll be rolling your melee versus his defense. And I just want to try and find any bonuses I can give you for being a sneaky absolute bastard. Combat modifiers, vision penalties. No. Let's at least give you like plus 2 dice as a sneak bonus.
That's a lot of success.
How many?
Well, I rolled 10 dice.
Right.
And only 2 of them are not successes. And 2 of them are 6s. Neither of them is the Wrath die. The Wrath die is a success.
So he's got a defense of 3, and you got a total of what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 of them are 6s.
3 of them are 6s.
Yes.
Was that one on the Wrath die?
It's a 4.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to use all those 6s, then essentially you get full narrative control of what happens.
Yeah. I'm just going to step up behind him and cross my swords against his neck.
Yep, you thumb the activation crystals on the ornate hilts of your swords, the energy field on them, flare into life, and the strobing, humming energy fields that can shear through, plast steel and ceramite are there right at his neck. You could give him a very, very close shave at this moment. He drops his pistol in his hand and he just stops dead and just motions for his men to lay down their weapons.
Now, I'm not even going to let him speak.
Right.
I am going to get up right close to his face. Yep. And with the cane still in my hand, because I don't need my weapon at this point, I'm going to say, do you want to try that again?
He's doing
Commissar.
This. Can I try? Can I just see if you let me do this? I've got something called Right of Magnometrics, which allows me to move metal towards me.
Right.
Just kind of summon all their guns towards me so they're not actually at their feet. So if
that's go on then.
Got a weapon.
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, it says no test is required, so I just go whoom, and
your mechanical arm hums, and all their auto pistols that they were carrying that they've dropped, go shing, and are attached to you, and you just drop at your feet because you don't need to carry them, but they're not in a place where they're easily going to get them. Ivel looks at the commissar. You've got the brim of your cap just concealing your eyes, but it's incredibly intimidating. Yes, commissar. I've been paid. It's the Piscator gang. They're in the lower hive. It's all they're doing. I can give you all the details. Just please don't. That's all I know.
Do you feel it is acceptable to, be paid off to go against the right and proper rules of what has been established on this planet?
No, commissar. It is a heinous crime, and I can only say that I was caught in a moment of weakness.
Weakness? Do you know how I deal with weakness?
No, commissar. I imagine you deal with though I imagine you deal with utmost prejudice, commissar.
So at this point, I'm going to move away from him. I'm going to take my gun.
Oh no, you're going to execute one of his workers.
I'm going to execute one of his workers.
Yeah. Jesus, right. Wow.
Mechanical rounds in the background.
There's a gunshot round ringing in the chamber, and the mass activated shell explodes the worker's head in a shower of gore. All the other workers just drop to their knees at that moment, watching you as you are using your bolt gun as they fear their lives are next.
So I have a question for you, Ivel. Who do you believe is your strongest willed worker?
It'll be Kasakan.
And where are they now?
They're down in the main working area on the rails.
Call them up.
He nods to one of the other workers to, push the Voxcom stud, and it crackles into life, and he calls up the worker. There's a few moments, until the worker comes into the control station. And the look on his face is one of shock as he sees that Weir has still got these, power blades at his throat.
Okay. So, Crete, here's how we're going to do this. I'm done asking you questions until you tell me exactly what happens. And instead, I'm going to start questioning your workers, starting with the strongest will and working down, and eventually just leave you with nothing.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn away from him now. At this point, anybody else can talk to him. I'm going to go talk to the other worker right there. So we can split off. So
you just need to make intimidation rolls then, quite simply.
All right. Ooh, I have 8 dice for that.
This is why you have the mug which says I'm the boss.
Oh, that's a whole load of successes. All right, I have 2 6s and 4 regular successes and nothing on the wrath die.
Okay, 2 successes.
No, 2 6s, 4 other successes, and nothing on the wrath die.
Oh right. Oh okay. Yeah. It's you literally you're like you use your cane, you smack them across the face, you backhand slap one of them, you have them on their knees, they are cowering. One of them breaks into tears, and you pretty much get from everyone there all the information you require.
Awesome.
As far as you're aware, the Piscator gang is using this center for smuggling. Obviously, some know more or less than the others. Ivor Crete has told you pretty much as any of the others are as much in the know. That's what they tell you. And that's all they know. They don't know what the gang is smuggling up. They just are paid off.
While she's doing that, I go up to Eiffel and just berate him through machine cant, whatever it's called. That language that I speak that isn't.
Yeah.
Just berate him through that.
You berate him with a series of zeros and ones. Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. Just saying how he's failed the Adeptus Mechanicus, and he will be stripped of any privileges through worship of the cult. And I'm going to try also see if he's got any sacred machine oil or any sacred items on him that I'm just going to rip off him. And
yeah, of course, it's nothing of consequence, but it's spare parts.
Yeah. It's just the psychological effect of you fucked with the cult. The cult's going to mess you up now. So,
and of course, realize that no matter what he pleads, you realize that Magus Carabaras had one specific order that if it did turn out that he is the route of access, that he is to become spare parts. He is to be euthanized. So it doesn't matter what you guys do right now. He is going to die.
Hold on. He is evidence, so we should put him into storage or something, right? Before he becomes spare parts.
So do you want to ping the enforcers or what?
No, we're not talking to the enforcers. Jeez. All right, listen. I got some chains right here.
In any way?
You could ping the fleet guardsmen that you brought down on your Black Star. They could come down and incarcerate, and with the rest of the workers, I mean, I'm sure if you tell Cabarast, he'll just tell you to execute them on the spot because they're all liabilities.
Yep. Yeah, well, we need to establish some evidence, that kind of stuff. Due process, which doesn't exist in this world, but it's convenient to have when you're making arguments with these noble types. So yeah, I think we should just call up our drop ship, and I've got a bunch of chains right here, so we can just chain him up, stick him in a chair. He can go right next to that aristocrat we have locked in there as well. And we're just gonna have a whole bunch of.
Are we just collecting people?
Yes.
And you literally just call in to the Adeptus Mechanicus that the shunt station has been cleansed, ready for.
I think they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to do their own cleansing. It seems
right.
like there's a deep-rooted corruption here.
So you're gonna chain them all up so they can be executed by the Adeptus Mechanicus themselves. It doesn't matter which way you slice it; they're dead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the I want to make an example.
Oh no.
And so having at least Ivol left, the Adeptus Mechanicus can take the rest, but Ivol is mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will concede to that.
I'm sure they'll have no problems with that.
And then ID Fortran, I need you to gather all of the records and make because I'm not going to take all of them. They are evidence, though. So make copies and leave the copies. We'll take the originals if possible.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm assuming I've already got all that.
You download it to a data slate and you know, something that's akin to a hard drive.
Yeah. Download it, pass it over to you. Now, with the actual order being for all of them to die from the magus, technically I'm Adeptus Mechanicus, so my orders come directly from them, not from commissars. So can I try and do a bit of sneakiness here and see if I can get in contact with the magus and let him know what's going on?
Yeah, you can send a coded transmission.
Cool. What do you want me to roll anything for that?
No, you don't need to do that.
Okay.
No one's going to know what you're doing. You literally go up to a command console and you start putting stuff in. The commissar has, while being well trained at the Scola Progenium, knows jack all about computers in that sense. So you're fine. No one knows what you're doing.
Yeah, that's the whole world of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Yeah, so I send off a message telling the Magos exactly what has transpired here and what we are doing as a result of it. Pretty much everything that has happened.
Okay. So with that, what do you wish to do next? Do you wish to I mean, the only place to go is below the wall to the lower hive and find the Piscator gang, I guess. Or if they're the ones behind the crime.
We've chained him up. Before he gets led away to the dropship, I'm just going to lightly flick one of my blades across his cheek and draw blood.
Brilliant. Yeah, you have another sample.
Now, everyone. So it seems like we have two options from here. Clearly, there's an enforcer checkpoint that all of these shipments are going through between the lower hive and upper hive. We can investigate that to see if we can root out any more corruption or potentially heresy. And then from there, we can go down. We can also talk to these gangers. We could skip the enforcers if we want to, and just go straight to the gangers. That may be a potential point. I would be in favor of being as thorough as possible and root out all possible leads. But I do understand that would take more time. Commissar, what do you think?
I have a feeling that there is somebody higher up that's paying a lot of money to make this happen.
Potentially. They would definitely have influence in the enforcers then. And they are decently armed. You know, mostly we saw shotguns before with the upper enforcers. They might have some heavier weapons, heavy stubbers perhaps, or maybe some vehicles even.
So my thought process is if we go in and if there is significant treachery within the nobles, the chances of the enforcers falling in line with them are going to be greater. Our better bet is actually to knock out the base from underneath them, and then everything else will crumble above it.
Okay, so are we? Which part of the base are we going for? The enforcers or the gangers?
The gangs.
Okay.
They're the lowest.
Right.
They're going to be the lowest in there. The enforcers are going to be higher up because they have more authority.
Okay.
Gangs will easier crumble. Enforcers are trained to deal with high pressure situations. Logic dictates we go for the easy kill.
We could also force the enforcers into a situation where they give themselves up. So if we can find this gang and get information from them, then it is a lot easier for us to be able to have the upper hand when it comes to dealing with anybody else higher up.
All right, understood. So if we go down into the underhive, I recommend that we dress in more casual attire than our uniforms and the like, simply to draw less attention as we go in. We want to take these gangs a bit by surprise, I think. What do you think, Weir? You're our stealth specialist, if you will. Do you concur with that? All right, very well, very well. Okay. Now, team, do you think we should go in with use our dropship, or should we just take one of these trains down, kind of go in the reverse direction? Run into some enforcers then, which is a bit of a risk. We could try to use a dropship and land in a more remote area, and I guess we have to take an elevator down still, and then kind of hoof it over. I don't know.
Trains are going to be your best bet.
I'm going to guess that the actual underhive is probably underwater.
The underhive is. The lower hive is still above water level.
And this gang, the Piscator gang, yeah, they're in the lower hive, not the underhive.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So
the
Chris,
lower hive
to...
descends all the way to sea level because that's where all the docks are for the vast amounts of fishing that's performed on this world.
Cool. Chris, would we be able to take our dropship down, or do we have to take a train?
I don't think it. I also don't think the dropship would be very safe landing down there because the amount of gangs that would go, oh look, that must be worth a pretty penny.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah. You've seen what Jawas do. Imagine what an average ganger will do.
Yeah, they'd be into it. Fortran, can you use some of Ivil's security codes to let us get through the enforcer checkpoints as we take the train down?
I'm sure I can get some security codes and passes.
Actually, the trains all come from different access points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's similar to a concept of like a subway.
Yeah.
Is there any specific train that's continually doctored for their cargo and stuff?
From a specific place.
Yes, coming from a specific place or specific enforcer checkpoint.
There might be one particular to that, yes. So you're looking for one that looks like they use it specifically for their route of smuggling because it's the one they've secured. I think from the documentation that ID Fortran pulled up, you can work out which of the carriages is used quite frequently for that, or at least which route is used for that quite frequently. And that means likely you can pull the security clearance to go through that route. Yeah.
I will attempt to pull security details. Do you want me to make a text?
I don't think you need to roll for that. You did so well on the original roll. You've pulled most things, and I think you could literally just give a phone call to Cabaras, and he give you further clearance if you needed it to. So far, yeah.
I was thinking, can you pull security codes for a checkpoint that it also goes around all of those in case we need a alternate leave point?
Escape route.
Yep.
Go on then, make a tech roll.
Yeah. What? So I've got a 5 and a 6.
Yeah, okay, that's enough. You fabricate and you pull out a security rod from the command console, which is literally a glorified key, which you pass over to people that has relevant encryption. With all your preparation then done, I guess you're ready to get on a particular train. I guess you are going to, because your security, your Imperial Guardsmen that have come down to collect Ival Crete, they can take anything that you deem a little bit too like clothing, like your commissar cap and jacket and keep it
Oh
somewhere
yeah,
safe.
those are going back and
They're
being
going
kept
back
safe.
above. Yeah. As a Skitari, I guess you can easily dress down and look just kind of like a tech adept of sorts.
I was just trying to think about that. Like tech adepts are a lot more human.
They're a lot more human, so you could
They're
just
a lot more
really
human.
look.
I literally have a robotic.
No one's going to mess with you. You'll look like a guildsman if you're just wearing some generic jumpsuit over the top of
I'll
it.
just put
But that's basically what you
long
need to
coat
wear.
with me.
You can wear like workers' jumpsuits to blend in. They are thick, waterproof materials. Obviously patched up in places where they've been torn, with various pockets and so forth for equipment. And if you needed to, you could attach something that allows you to then breathe underwater, so it could be fully enclosed if you needed to. But you don't have that part. You've just got the rubberized jumpsuit, as it were. But that's it.
Is there a face that I could use? I could borrow to cover up my mechanical head.
You can make one.
I have one on me actually because I removed it from that other guy. I
literally have a mechanical head, so
yeah, I can actually pull out a wrapped roll of leather and unroll it, and there is a face in there.
Jesus, right.
Let me extend it to you.
Yay, body horror.
I don't know whether it'll fit very well over your cyber face, though.
no,
It'll
I'm
look a bit
thinking
weird.
literally like weird breathing pipes and crap. So
With that anyway, you get on the relevant carriage. You're in the front cabin, as all the other carriages are designed to carry vast amounts of algae, and the train sets off down into the lower hive. It moves at speed and obviously goes through various enclosing tunnels. It's all very claustrophobic. There's minimal lighting. And after a good hour or so journey into the lower hive, it comes to a standstill at another station, which has got, which is another dome within which there are numerous large storage silos. These silos contain algae, and some contain refined oil. And some obviously there's some warehouses. Above you, there are walkways with various workmen carrying a ladle from an articulated pipe. There is overspill from the algae, so there's green algae that is just slick on the ground. And, obviously, this is the same stuff that was in the oil at all the murder scenes. As you get off the carriage, some of the workers who obviously are expecting this train look at you with some sort of surprise. You're not the normal people that should be down here. Have you got relevant ID?
Yeah. We want to talk to you real quick.
Okay. Right. You're going to use... If you're going to talk but appear as one of them, I think... Because you've got the scum keyword, correct, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I got scum.
You can use deception with a +2 dice bonus.
I'm not really good at deception.
What do you want to use
I think
instead?
I think I want to intimidate him first.
Intimidate them.
I think we're going to pull off the hood and reveal the beastman nature. And we're just going to go in with the intimidation.
This could go horribly wrong.
Or it could go horribly right. And I think it did go horribly right. We have a 6 on the wrath die and a total of 8 icons.
Okay, so that gives you 1 glory into the glory pool, and you got a total of 8 icons in total. Wow.
Yes.
How many of those are 6s?
3 of them.
Do you want to shift any into the glory pool?
No, I already helped out the glory pool.
Okay,
we're just going full. We're going full intimidation here.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you drop the hood. The guy seems startled at your abhuman face, your goat-like eyes, and your horns, and your strange mouth, and everything around about you is clearly wrong as you step forward and get into his face.
Hey, you with the Piscator gang?
What the hell are you? No, I'm not with them. Get away from me! And he blesses himself with the Emperor.
Grab him by the throat. Go around the blessing of the Emperor. Draw him close to my face. Where do I find the Piscator gang?
Oh, and he looks around. That's one of them over there. There. Leave me alone, you freak.
No. We're going over there and we're talking to him. I put my hood back on.
I thought you were going to do something brutal. You're going to headbutt him to knock him out because you're done with him.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, okay. You
hit him with the horns.
Yeah.
Throw him to the ground. All right. Let's get over there and let's talk to these other bozos.
Excellent. Are you snorting as you were intimidating him? I imagine. Just
sure.
Full on.
Maybe a little bray.
Yeah. Excellent. You start heading over to the workmen that are picked out to be members of the Piscator gang. They are heavily set, well-muscled men and women. They are wearing dirty yellow rubber waders. They have a rebreather mask ready for if they have to do anything that involves, going into the water. And as you get closer, one of them, a woman who's got a shaved head, quite scarred from one side of the face to the other, steps forward. What do you want? You're not meant to be down here. You got any ID?
Fucking ID. What is this bullshit? Listen, we need to talk to someone that knows shit around here, all right? I need to talk to whoever handles transport up above. Or, well, heading up above.
Right. How close are you to her?
Probably pretty close. I'm feeling pretty bold.
Okay. You watch as she drops out of the sleeve of her overalls a heavy metal pipe, and she goes to swing it at you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna...
What are the others doing as you're watching Mr. Beastman do all of his intimidation and pissing people off? We'll start with Weir, because Weir is mostly, were you wearing the overalls, or did you decide, nah, no?
I didn't change a thing about what I look like.
No. Color? What's this concept
so clearly,
of color?
Clearly, the first thing you did when you got off the train, even before it stopped, I'm sure, was to jump off and sneak off.
Yes. I'm watching. I'm observing from a relatively close distance.
Go on, make another sneak roll.
Okay. I was like,
Like, what more is to be said? You are somewhere in the shadows, ready to dive on someone.
Pretty much. Let me just pull up my character sheet. 6. Oh wait, no, 7. Oh, question. The +1 from my cloak. Is that it?
Yeah.
I just roll an extra die?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 4 success, or 4 icons. Sorry.
Yeah, you're sneaky. You're right now. You're mostly sat on top of. You're sat on top of up on one of the gantries, watching Rufio getting face to face with this bunch of gangers, and you're just waiting for the moment where you're going to jump down upon them, which is mostly what's going to happen at this moment. But before we get to that, where is Danica and where is ID Fortran?
I am going to be, because I can't just let a mutant be in front of me and think that he could take the lead. I'm going to be right next to him. But I'm going to let him do the talking, and if nobody else intercedes, I am going to try to catch her hand as she swings the pipe.
Cool. Okay. And ID Fortran?
I'm a little way back, kind of giggling to myself as I see the pipe swinging towards Rufio's head.
Excellent.
Sure.
To
Sure.
try
Okay.
and stop anything, I'm kind of waiting for it to connect, and then I'm going to laugh really loudly and then shoot some.
So the question is, who wants to go first on this? Do we want Danica to block, to parry first?
Yeah. I think that's the right play.
No.
And then have Weird drop down?
No, look, guys, I can. Listen, this is all about intimidation. It's about looking strong.
You can take a pipe.
I'm actually.
Oh, you don't need it being
observing.
caught.
Listen, if she doesn't parry it, I can take this on the chin, and then we'll just keep talking from there. We'll see how this goes. A little more intimidation can't hurt.
I am not a physical character. This is gonna hurt so much.
Oh, well, this is gonna be fun.
Well, if you get floored, I can just shoot her in the face. So,
Like I said, I do one thing and one thing really well.
Tell people what to do.
Yep.
I've not managed to do the thing that I do really well yet. So I hope this does turn into a fight. I'll shoot.
Anyway, so they're going to attack you. Let's see, how many dice do I need for that weapon skill? There we go. And I can swap that for an extra dice to do on the first action. That's good. Mike, what's Rufio's defense?
1 second. I need to remember where that is on the character sheet.
Next to skills.
Defense is 2.
Defense is 2. Okay, and that has. Let me just check. Equals or exceeds the target's defense. So yes, this will hit, unless if Crystal does as her combat action just to block. That's all you need to do. You need to just get more more dice on your attack roll for this.
Okay. What skill would I use for this?
So you're gonna use your weapon skill. Remember that you do possess a bolt pistol, but you also do possess a chainsword. I think, is that your weapon you have?
Yeah, a chainsword and a bolt pistol.
So you could basically parry with a chainsword.
I could parry with the chainsword. I will do that.
I think the chainsword is actually set up to do parrying. Let me just check.
It is. Yep.
It is. There's a keyword hit parry on it. Or trait parry.
Weapon traits. Let me have a look. Yeah, parry means you get +1 defense against melee attacks when wielding a parry weapon, so you can deflect blows. So that's if anyone just tries to attack you in general, but you're using your attack as a full-on block to someone else. So you get +1 dice basically to this.
Okay, cool. I am also going to add one of my. Wait, no, I'm not going to add a wrath. Not yet.
No, okay, cool.
We'll see how this goes. Oh, that was awesome. Okay, I got a 6 on the wrath die, and then two icons.
Yeah, right. The word parry isn't really something you kind of know in your vocab. Like, you were taught in the scholar sword fighting. You've been taught fencing and so forth, using beautiful, refined blades. Parry in this instance is you thumbing on the chainsword, it whirring to life, and parry instead turns into slice person's arm off, and the worker's arm just is sent flying, and they drop to their knees, like crying out in pain as blood is gushing from the stump of their arm.
Yeah, I imagine we're on the balcony just kind of coughing.
Rufio, seeing that happen.
Well, Commissar Danica really just stole the show right there. It'll be interesting to see what Weir does here, but I'd be like, I will also brandish out my chain sword. Do like a woo, woo. Listen, we're just here to talk, all right? You can see she's tough. I'm tough. Got this entire place surrounded. I just want some information about who's doing the transport. And I guess I'll kind of brush aside the woman who's in pain, bleeding out, and yell at the next guy right next to her.
Okay, you can make a intimidation roll then, Mike.
Okay. Do I add my scum bonus here?
Of course.
All right.
How do the rest of the gang workers, the gangers,
they've pulled auto pistols out of pockets and are brandishing clubs or really pieces of tools that they can use as clubs. So large monkey wrenches, hooks.
So they're looking like they're getting ready to attack us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how this intimidation goes. I got 5 icons, including a 6 on the wrath die as well.
We're getting so many 6s on this wrath dice.
So we're now.
I mean, it's like it happens 1 in 6 times.
To glory. Okay, cool. They back off. Mostly at the same point, because if you time it, you could use some narrative to here to just say maybe Weir jumps down out of the from above next to you as you're revving your chainsword.
No.
Okay, maybe not.
I'm
Okay.
gonna wait and see if they start to attack.
They stand there, obviously looking jittery, and what do you want?
Did you not understand me before? I want to know who's in charge of the transport. Give me their name. And then clean up your goddamn lives. Your emperor damn lives.
They explain to you, as they're, shaking, almost pissing themselves in fear. Because there's 2 people literally with chainswords there, and God knows who else. There's ID Fortran in the back, mostly brandishing what type of gun?
I've got a galvanic rifle.
So that's mostly about to flare into life. It's crackling with energy and it's at its power cell. They just they explain to you that there's someone in the black market that's in charge of it all. That's their contact. They the person that's now passed out due to their injury was in charge of smuggling stuff onto the train. But
well done.
The person in charge.
None of you know who their contact was. No one saw anything. No one could give me a description. Do you want to end up like her?
They do give you a description of the contact in the black market.
All right, there we go. So that's what I was looking for.
We have a name?
Let me see. There should be a name.
While this is going on, I just walk up and stand next to Rufy and go, "Did you just kill the one that we needed?"
No, Fortran, they were expendable. Just like these folks are expendable. And if they cooperate with us, maybe they'll make it out of here alive.
You said expendable.
Maybe.
Can I shoot one?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's your character. Hashtag the flesh is weak.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing. He's turning into a bit of a psychopath at the moment. He's not shot anybody yet. He's going to shoot someone. Screw it. Just randomly. So I shoot one.
I mean, you could execute the person who's dying? Or just shoot a random up
person you're looking for has the name of Garrett.
Garrett. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot one of them randomly just because I can.
Oh, wow. Okay, fine. You can gain.
You just told me they're all expendable, so I'm going to shoot one. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons and a 6.
Yeah, you've just executed someone else. Well done.
Wow. IG Fortran. I've noticed IG Fortran takes things very literally. Very literally. Well, I mean, I think we're done here. We can go find this Garrett individual. But I do want to say, as we're leaving these gangers, be like, hey, by the way, the name's Rufio. Remember it.
Excellent.
I actually do have a question for them before we leave.
Sure.
Okay.
Which is, do they have a financial backer and their name?
So what they've explained is that their contact for who they've been smuggling up into the upper hive is this person called Garrett. Otherwise, they're an independently operating gang. You know, they're like many other gangs in the lower hive that work for either some of the syndicates or the combines or the Danto. I think they're called the Dantos, which are all various types of gangs that operate there. Working all various parts of trying to claim monopolies or particular regions of the lower hive.
Okay, and then where can we find Garrett?
So they said the black market.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they can point us towards the market regions.
Yes. Yeah. So with that, if you're happy with all that, you can set off towards the black market.
Yeah. All right. I think as we're moving there, hey, Weir, how are you? You're good at stealth and stuff. Are you good at like investigation? Do you have much skill in that? Might be good to have you maybe stealthily investigate and see if you can locate this Garrett individual. We can go in there in a more precise strike. You know, that's kind of your style.
I just nod and I just shift away from the group. Shoot.
Excellent.
My ring wraith got orders.
Yeah, right.
Also, when we left the gang, I just like stepped off of the balcony I was on and dropped right next to them and walked away.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All the gang is just like, what the fuck? One just random execution, and then you turn up.
You head off into the depths of the lower hive, and here, obviously, as I said, is a very different experience of what you've seen before of the upper hive. It is more claustrophobic, labyrinthine, and is a wasteland of rusted metal, seeping water and mold. Some places there is fungus that is luminous. Other places there is the thrumming of Promethean that is being piped through up to the upper hive. And eventually you get to a dome, a large cavern, essentially, where there is plenty of business going on. This, Rufio has been able to ask the right people. He kind of is used to how the underhive of other worlds work. He's kind of got a feel for the lay of the land, and finding the black market then isn't too difficult for you. Plus, you have the directions from the Piscator gang who you scared shitless earlier. And there's, as you get into the black market, there's the smell. There's the smell of mold and decay, toxic waste. There are numerous vagrants covered in, ragged clothes. Some have skin that is got all various forms of afflictions and scabs from working in various toxic industries, or are covered in wounds from working with various dangerous power tools. And, some of these people are huddled in sections of pipes, which are like not pumping anything through. They just turn that into their makeshift home. Others have what look like small tents made from the flesh that's been flayed off some deep sea creature. Others are using illumination from a flask that has inside it some sort of fish that is glowing. You get the idea. There is a whole throng of various people in various different types of work clothing and equipment with them, and you're near the edge of the hive, so where it gets closer to the outside and to the docks, and you're in one of the, of course, various many on this hive worldfish dismantling yard. So there is the black market is essentially part of a shanty town that has grown up around one of these worldfish. A worldfish is the size of one of the largest, I don't know, battleships that's ever gone to sea. It's that size, and there are workers that are slowly, taking it apart, using flensing blades and rotary saws to slice off blubber and flesh, Some are, using power tools to cut through bone. They're harvesting every single part of it. But some of the ribs are used to create the black market itself. So the skin is stretched out over these huge ribs, and within there is where the black market is. Walking through there is a dazzling array of things that are made from all the creatures that are, exist in the sea. At one place, there's huge pearls that are literally the size of bowling balls, and you're aware that pearls are obviously farmed on this world and are ground down into a pearlescent paint that is then taken off-world, or was previously used as well off-world, to paint the outside of ecclesiarchy, cathedrals and temples. There is also jellyfish which are refined to get the ink out of them, which goes all the way back to numerous ecclesiarchy worlds to use as ink for their numerous scrolls and books and Bibles to the God Emperor. So yes, there's tons of things. There's a smell of cooked food. It's essentially wall-to-wall sushi and crab meats. You walk past a place which is apparently an arena, and you look down and it's an old algae silo that's been turned into an arena. So it's an old like an oil refinery silo. So it's that big. And from the level you are looking down into this, you can see crabs the size of, say, I don't know, the size of small tanks that have had their limbs replaced with cybernetic weaponry, and people are laying bets on watching these weaponized crabs fight each other.
Sweet. How does Rufio definitely takes an interest in this. Is ID4Train also pretty interested, or is this just another?
I'm offended by it.
Much of the illumination down here is due to the oil that is made from the blubber. It's there's excess amount of it. It's used quite happily. So the place obviously smells very fishy. And yes, you're in this shanty town. Let's see. You can all make an awareness roll.
Ooh. I actually have awareness, apparently. Two icons and an exalted icon.
Okay. Mike, you can add an extra +2 because you're scum.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
So you got 1 success in total.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1 icon.
3 icons, 2 of which are 6s.
2 of which are 6s. So you mean that's 5 successes total then?
Yep.
Remember, 6s, 2s. Good. Okay. None on the wrath die with that?
None on the wrath die.
Okay, cool.
3 on the wrath die.
And where you're sneaking around.
Yes.
So you can just roll as normal as you're just looking at stuff. What did you get?
3 icons.
Okay, yeah.
So the person who's actually useful down here has just not been very useful.
Yeah. Where you are watching, people are moving around you, but there's so many strange things down here. People aren't really bothered when you do kind of drop your. You've got your hood up, but no one's really paying much attention to you.
Yeah, I'm just a hooded guy walking around.
There's plenty of strange figures walking around. There are people that have clearly got some sort of. You see, some people have clearly got some sort of mutation, but you would imagine that due to the fact it seems you see it frequently, that some people have got what clearly look like gills, in their necks. That it's a purposeful mutation that was brought onto the planet eons ago to allow colonists to survive on this world. So they're
Doesn't
human
like
otherwise. No, it's not quite heresy. It's no different to that other abhuman that you know.
Okay.
But they do actually have an extra eyelid to allow them to properly see through water, because it changes the refractive index. These are things that you're overhearing where you ask questions about, and people go, "Oh, it's this," But you do find a stall by a grimy old man who's got various items on it, and you notice some of these items look to be from the upper hive. The reason you say that, they look expensive. Expensive clothing, or a pen, an auto quill, or a data slate. Actually, the more you look, you're thinking, hold on a minute, is this not some of the stuff that went missing? Possibly. Obviously, he's got various other things. He's got carved worldfish teeth. He's got various pearls. There's a jar full of eyeballs taken from some sort of eel. There's lots of cool stuff.
I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna kind of reach out with my hand that has the bladed glove on it, and I'm gonna like pick up some of the normal the items I would have expected to find, but I'm actually looking at the things that I'm like,
Can I help you there, sir? I've got plenty of goods for you. You look to be kind of different.
He looks up into at your hood. Does he see a sliver of the skull-like mask?
Yeah. Maybe some light glinting off the metal.
You know your stuff. You look like a man who has got fine taste. And he looks around. How about this? It's a whole series of, it's part of a series of operas on data slates. You don't see that often down here. Some of them, I tell you, some of them are quite racy. And maybe you would like this nice shirt. It is a fine silk. Look how it feels on the skin. It's lovely, isn't it, sir? Or maybe we could barter. How much for the mask?
He hacks up some phlegm.
To clarify one point, I separated from my friends. What would be the fastest way to get in touch with them?
You could mostly send a quick Voxcom ping, which would just alert them possibly to your location.
I will do that silently.
ID Fortran mostly has got all of these on his Auspex.
I'm going to do that silently while I'm not answering the man.
You're not very talkative, are you? Let's see, what else can we do for you? Maybe you like a deck of cards. You like pictures? You a reader? What else we got? And he goes, maybe, and he brings out from out back a small tank, and inside is a very beautiful kind of fish. This fish will sing songs to you, send you to sleep.
He had a tank then.
I'm gonna wait. He's obviously moving around, and
the rest of you eventually find we're looking completely out of place in front of this stall, looking over all these things.
At some point, when he's like kind of gesturing and touching items and showing them to me, I'm gonna snap my hand out and pin his to the table with the bladed glove.
Shit. Okay.
As they're walking up.
You pin his hand to the table, your razor blade finger slicing straight through the meat of it and stapling his hand to the table, essentially. And he cries out in pain.
And I'm going to lift my head so you can fully see the skull mask.
And you can do an intimidation roll to get him to shut up, I guess.
That one. That right there. Okay.
Screw trying to be nice, Jesus.
No, absolutely not. That is 2 icons, but like a 6 on the wrath die. So an icon and an exalted icon.
So that gives you another glory. Good. You're up to 3 glory in total. You should spend this stuff when you can.
Not needed to yet.
What do you want? What do you want? I'm just a businessman.
I'm gonna lean forward, very, very close to him, and I'm gonna speak for the first time this entire game. And Weir's voice is like a very deep whisper. And I'm just gonna say, "Where's Garrett?"
Garrett. You mean the prophet Garrett? He's down in the. You can find him in the sun pits. Why do you want him? Why do you want him? He'll. If he I don't. He's dangerous. Don't. Yeah. He sells stuff to me, but no. Just. What do you want?
And I will unpin his hand.
He takes his hand up, and it's like hurting loads. And he looks around, and he finds like some bandages and starts wrapping it up.
Yeah, you can find him in the sun pits.
Have the rest of the group arrived yet?
Likely.
Sure.
Probably.
I'll just gesture.
And you see, and he points out the luxury items on the table, and you recognize some of these as items that likely were stolen during the murders.
Commissar, what do you think we should do about this evidence?
Commissar? And he kind of looks wide-eyed at the as you say that.
I'm gonna was there any like extremely fine items that were taken?
Oh yeah, like we're talking like the rug, the animal skin rug, the data slates that were of some opera or some history books, a quill.
All right.
Various lots of expensive items were taken.
I'm just gonna run my fingers over the stuff that I know was stolen and just smile, my commissar smile, and tell him or ask him, so where did you get these?
Like it's like gravity. It just washes down, things fall off, someone sells it. I don't know. They just
I have already executed 2 people today. Let's not make it a third.
Okay. It's the they just get sold off.
Where did you get these items?
I'm just gonna flex the hand with the blade on it while she's talking.
It's this, like I say, Garrett, he's got this this cult. He's a prophet. He's a cult. He's about the fine things in life. And some of the people who are part of it, they get these things, they bring to me, they sell them to me, because I know how to sell them too. They go off and buy whatever they want. That's how I get hold of things like that.
And this cult, what can you tell me about it?
It's about it's something to do about reclaiming what is kept from, I think what they call it is reclaiming what those above deny us. It's some sort of they call it that's it, a cult of luxury. They just want to be able to take back what those nobles deny us. That's what I hear. That's what the pamphlets say. But I don't read. I don't keep pamphlets like that. I just buy and sell. I got nothing to do with this cult.
Mm-hmm. And who are your usual clientele, dear shopkeep?
My clientele, well, everyone's got different tastes. Some people just want to buy some pearls. Some people want to buy some candles. Some people want to buy a fish. You want this fish? It's a very beautiful fish. But some people kind of sell this stuff. Some people buy it. That's all I know. I don't keep books.
And this cult
really, really badly behind him.
Do they worship anything?
I think it's as far as I'm aware, that's they're just saying if the God Emperor wants to look after all of us, and why should we be denied things that get us through the difficult times? That's what I hear. That's what they say. I don't know. I don't attend their crazy things. I mean, I always go to the local chapel, and I say my blessings to the God Emperor. I don't go along to this cult.
I really hate being disappointed.
Look. Here's what I'll do. I can if you go over to the restaurant over there, they do a very fine fillet of fish there. I'll call my boy, and he can act as a guide around these parts, and he can take you to where this cult meets. I'll do that free of charge. Dinner's on me. I just don't want anything to do with any of this.
You attend church regularly?
Certainly. At the end of every other cycle, I go say my blessings to the God Emperor. I can't go every cycle. I have a business, I have a job, but I go every other cycle.
And in your personal life?
God.
I really want to believe you. Ren, do you believe him?
Do I believe what?
Oh, Ren.
Sorry, what?
Oh, do you mean weird?
Or Weir, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Ugh. No wonder.
I was like,
Weir, do you believe him?
kind of tilt my head to the side and shake my head.
Commissar, might I recommend that perhaps we could have this individual interviewed by Sister Mariana once she's free. I'm sure she would be the best suited of our group to determine how faithful this individual is to our God Emperor.
I like that idea. I will take you up on that offer. I want to make sure, however, that we are going to be able to find you.
I'll be right here. Where am I going to go? I can't leave. I've got overheads to pay. I've got whole debts.
All right.
Very well. Team, I recommend we leave this shopkeep to tend to his shop and also to his wounds. And we'll be expecting your lad to take us about.
Here's this token. Take these. Take him over to that restaurant there. You can get whatever you want on the house. It's on my tab.
Yes, I'm sure it's quite the establishment.
Oh, it does some of the finest food in the sector.
Guys, we're not eating there.
I just stand at the back nodding at you. You go eat. I'll wait here. And just kind of glare at him. Flesh is weak. You need your concessions. I will wait.
I've got my daily meal from the dropship. I can just eat my little retort pouch.
Yeah, you're just eating dried corpse starch. Yummy.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to trust that fish. You don't know what they have back there in the kitchen. It could be anything.
I'm going to suggest we take a 10-minute break there,
Very well.
and because I want to get another cup of coffee, and we'll be ready to start the next scene.
Excellent. All right. We'll be back in a few.
Right. So we continue down into the lower hive. Where are you guys waiting for Orvis's guide to find you?
Well, I guess outside of the restaurant. I'm not going in there to eat, but you guys are welcome to.
You sure? You're used to food down here. You're a scum.
Fortran, you were just gonna stay there and hover ominously, correct?
Yeah, I'm just going to stand by him.
I have
By
too.
his stall because I've got no need for food.
Yeah, and I don't partake in pleasures of the flesh much. So
I mean, no, this is a great point, Chris. Does my character think that this is a safe and decent establishment?
From what you can smell, everything smells more edible than any hive world you've been on in recent years.
Oh, well, that changes everything. I'm going in. Wish me luck, everyone.
Does anyone else want to join Rufio for what will turn out to be like the underhive equivalent to fine sushi?
Sure, I will go. Cause why not?
Okay, great, Commissar. This is awesome. Let's have some food. We're gonna have to sit in the corner, away from everyone else. I'm gonna have to have my back turned from everyone and I guess like my sleeves will have to like cover my furry hands. So I'm like, oh, remember.
Also, for the time being, you can just call me Danica.
Yeah.
As you wish, Commissar. Danica.
So yes, you are brought. Eventually, you're brought. Like there's in the middle of the table is a sizzling plate upon which various meats from it's just blubber that's put on there that sizzles away. Or you're brought a bowl of kind of what you imagine as squid-like tentacles, and in that classic way of adding some soy sauce or something to like that, they spring to life and writhe a bit before you eat them. You've also got eyeballs taken from some strange undersea creature that have been pickled for like 200 years.
Yeah, I'm eating those.
You've got also what passes as a kind of sake, but it is basically just algae that's been fermented for about 20 years. They say it's used to degrease like engines, but it's pretty good to drink as well.
I don't drink on duty.
He says, quietly taking a sip out the corner of his mouth.
No,
you actually both end up having a really good meal for spend about half an hour having quite the impressive meal. I mean, it's nothing compared to the food you had the food that was available up hive when you arrived in the nobility's chambers up there, but it's still real food that you're not going to see on the ship anytime soon.
Yeah, so, Sister Mariana's missing out.
So while they're eating, and Fortran is watching the older man, I'm just going to position myself outside the restaurant, kind of like keeping an eye on everyone going in and out, making sure it's not a setup.
Are you just doing that so you can like smell the food, but also tell yourself, I cannot imbibe the food? You're torturing yourself.
Yes, yeah. I do not partake in pleasures of the flesh.
No,
in any sense. The ration of food I get from the dropship is all I need.
Yes, and obviously the food you get from the dropship is blessed, unlike the stuff in there, which is not blessed. Eventually, the guide which Orvis called for, who's a teenager essentially, arrives again dressed in essentially just raggedy kind of clothing that's treated to be waterproof and is all patched up and so forth. And he points to ID Fortran. Take him and his friends. They should be at the restaurant, and direct them to where Garrett is found. In the sump. And the boy nods and turns to ID Fortran. This way, sir. And because he's kind of confused by your mechanical face.
Yes.
And he leads you away and heads to the restaurant where, Weir is stood outside smelling the next piping hot meal that walks past the table that's outside, and you're just like looking at it going, I must not.
I'm just being stoic.
So walk past where I go, the flesh is weak.
I nod.
Something you have in common.
Yes.
Once you've finished eating and you come outside, the guide is there waiting to take you to the sump pits, which is further down, which will take a route which will lead further down towards the actual edge of what is termed the underhive.
Yeah.
So you will be descending into a part of the hive which is below the waterline.
Yeah, lead the way, kid. And, if you don't mind me asking, what's a cult of luxury doing in the sump pits?
He just looks at you and goes, I don't know. I don't really understand. They have these pamphlets, but I can't read them. And he just sets off ahead of you. This way.
Any of the pamphlets?
Okay. Yeah. Listen,
I just use them as loo paper.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Listen, this sounds like heresy, and unfortunately, Sister Mariana's not here with us. Jeez.
Heresy?
She'd be the best suited. Oh, this sounds like heresy most foul.
You wind your way down into the hive through some very narrow pipeways, clambering down ladders. At some points you may slip a little bit because they're slick with water or grime or grease. There are some routes which the guide chooses not to take you down because it's clear that the area has been recently flooded, and it takes you a good long while. At one point, the guide, the young boy stops and he prods his foot forward, and the entire floor ahead of you in this corridor just falls away, and below is a drop that you can only tell goes down for at least 10 stories. So if you'd walked along that without knowing, you would have descended to your death.
Yes.
And you keep on walking, and you go through various bulkhead doors, and eventually, as you get into this next section, the door behind you locks automatically. Don't worry, it's meant to do that. We're meant to go through this one here, and then we should be towards the sump. Right, you can all make awareness rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also going to reach out a hand, the hand with the bladed fingers, and just clamp it down on his shoulder. Now, I'm not going to pierce the flesh, but I just
Rufio, you can get roll an extra 2 dice.
Still 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. ID Fortran, you look around and you realize you note on the pressure gauges on some of the pipeway, the pressure is too high. The rumbling you can hear makes you think maybe whatever pumps, whatever pipeways, whatever sluiceways which are meant to keep the area free of water are about to rupture. That is why the door behind you locks automatically to ensure, because obviously at this lower part of the hive, areas are set up to ensure if there are any floods, to lock down automatically. You're locked in until you can figure out how to undo the door lock, and if you don't do it soon enough, you fear one of the pipes may well explode and start filling the area with water.
So we're trapped in a kind of room.
In a corridor.
So there's a locked door.
There's a door at the other end, yeah.
Question. Power blades.
Unlikely to cut through fast enough, given that these are doors that are designed to withstand, high pressure.
A power blade is kind of like an actual sword with
a power field around it. Yeah,
so it's not a lightsaber, but it's kind of a lightsaber.
No. Yeah, it kind of
it's a lazy man's lightsaber.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Prototype. There's a prototype. Yeah. Okay. So just checking.
So yeah, you need to get out of this as quickly as possible. You might have to wrench open the door. You might have to bypass some of the safety locks. Or you could try and do something to at least give you some more time and try and reroute some of the water pressure out of the pipes that are flowing around you. There are numerous things you could do, and you've got a limited amount of time to do this because I am using a death clock.
What would the roll to bypass the locks be?
You're either going to have to use tech, or you're going to have to use strength to wrench open the door, or you're going to have to use athletics you might have to use athletics at the end, because if you do get the door open, there might be emergency doors that'll close rather rapidly because it will detect that there's a further breach.
Yeah.
I run towards, so the way we are heading.
Yeah.
I run towards that door, screaming, screaming, but kind of
chittering.
Get the doors open. We're about to be flooded.
Yeah.
We'll try and I will go for trying to divert the water and relieve the pressure. So I'm going to try and make everybody aware that I'm doing that. You guys open the door. I'm going to try and reroute the water pressure.
Okay, so that's a tech test.
Yep. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? I'm going to spend a wrath point and
okay.
3 fails. No, my 4 fails there, so I've got 1 icon, but I'm just guessing I'm going to need more than 1. Oh, there we go. That's better. I've got 1 icon, 2 exalted, and 1 of those is on the wrath dice.
So you got 5 successes in total.
Yeah.
Okay. That you haven't broken through the security bypass yet.
Spend 1 of our glory to re-roll the failures.
You spend wrath to do that.
Or wrath.
Yeah, glory is to add extra dice.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've already re-rolled. You can't re-roll a re-roll.
Gotcha.
You're part of, but you don't roll because obviously these are extended tests, so you haven't. Don't worry, those successes aren't lost yet because we're on a death clock. Okay, because you're partway through basically redirecting the water flow, so that might mean when you succeed it, the death clock will go back a step.
Okay.
All right. As this is happening, I'm gonna pull. How old is this kid?
He's like about 12,
and I'm holding him.
Okay. I'm gonna pull him and face him towards me and be like, "You need to talk right now. What is going on?"
It's
because I can't do anything else.
He's just like, I don't know. Sometimes things just break, and I have to run really fast to get out of these places. This is why the old man pays me for this.
When he says that, I'm going to look at the commissar, and I'm going to gesture past me at, like, we should find the exit he was going to take us to, not go back the way we came.
Yeah, which is the door which ID4 trans out.
Okay.
Because you're in a corridor.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll head over that way. So I'll ask him. You don't know anything about this?
He just shakes his head. He knows nothing. This is like, he uses his wits and guile essentially to know when to kind of get a sense of when these things break.
Gotcha.
But
I'm gonna make sure he stays with me so that he doesn't get left behind.
Sure. Okay. Oh. Rufio, you gonna try anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my Beastman muscles to try to muscle open this door.
Yeah.
And awesome.
I'm going to assist.
Okay.
Okay. Chris, am I doing just a strength roll or an athletics roll on this?
You're going to be doing an athletics roll, and you can add half of Weir's strength to this test.
Rounded up or down?
Rounded up.
2.
And obviously you can spend glory to add dice to this dice pool. You've got 3 glory. That's
what's your athletics?
7 total.
Okay, it's higher than mine. So
okay,
that's why I asked, because I have a lot of points in athletics, but not a high strength.
Yeah, I think it's time to do to spend some glory. How many additional dice does that give me?
It's 1 for 1.
How much do we have?
3.
I'll just spend 1. I'm just gonna spend 1.
How many dice have you got now?
A bunch. Here, I'll count them when I roll them. They're in a pile in my hand. So there was 7 plus 2, so it's 9, so 10 total. 10 total dice.
10 total.
Correct.
Dice.
Now that's number of dice. For icons, I have 7 icons.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, you start wrenching. The two of you start wrenching the door open, and it creaks open. And you've got to be able to hold it open long enough before, obviously, the secondary doors are going to, shut down on it as well. So at this point, everyone else will need to leg it through if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because everyone's made their actions then for this round, so that's that round done. And then those of you holding the door open will have to make another strength test to keep it open before you make your way in, make your way out, which will be another athletics test.
Do I feel like Rufio has the door?
Or
does he need help? Because it's that or grab the kid and hoof it.
I'm gonna grab the kid.
Okay.
So let's make sure everybody gets out.
Then I will help hold the door.
And ID Fortran, are you going to keep rerouting water pressure to give you a bit more time? Or are you going to just quick step it out the door?
Has anyone called out that the door's open and we need to go through it yet?
Well, they're at the door. You're at a control panel in the corridor. You can mostly see this happening. You can see that you can quick step out.
I am going to continue working on the water pressure because we don't know what's happening in the next corridor.
Okay, go on then.
Everything is happening further down. So, Jesus, I'm dead. I've got 4 1s and a 2.
Ooh.
And one of those ones is on the wrath dice.
Oh, is it? Right. I could either increase ruin or right one. I'm just basically gonna give you, you've got a turn. Everyone's got this turn to get out. And then next turn the water will burst out, and then you will have a turn trying to get out with water in there with you.
Are you
before it all locks down?
Is Fortran particularly
heavy
as a robot person?
Oh yeah, he's going to be a bit heavy as well. Yeah. So
can I grab him?
You're at the door trying to hold it open. You might have to go back and grab him quickly.
I have very high athletics. I'm just wondering if
I just turn around and go, run!
I am gonna run.
Danica legs out with the boy, saving his life in the process, which is great.
Run at everybody.
Rufio, you're gonna have to make a strength test to keep the door open.
All right, I'm gonna make a strength test. Now, so I'm the one holding the door open. Is Weir still helping me, or
I'm helping? But if I feel like you have it, I'm gonna go grab Fortran and help him out.
All right, here's how I think we should do this. I should make the roll just as myself, as my character.
That's what and then
if I have enough successes, you don't need to help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I see the door start to slip, I'll step in.
Pressure. There's pressure gauges that explode as obviously the pressure is going through the roof. Pipes are now spitting water out.
I have a way that I might be able to get to the door quite quickly. I'll let.
Got 7 icons.
Yeah, you hold the door open
with a 6 on the wrath die as well.
Okay, so you've got glory point back.
Nice.
Yep. Nice.
So in that case, if I feel like Rufio's just like beast manning out, I'm gonna.
I got this.
I have pretty decent athletics. I'm gonna go help Fortran get out.
So you're gonna run over to him and just leg it and grab him and run with him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about my rights of magnotrix.
Pull you to the thing.
Yeah, no, it can do. I can draw my body to any large or stable metal object.
Like the door?
Does that pull me?
That would pull you towards the door if you direct it in that direction.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, but would it move me quicker than I can run?
No.
Okay. That was kind of...
I think it'd be useful in 0G, or if you were floating in water.
Yeah, no, if I'm stuck in the water, I'm just going to float above the water. Screw that, I'm not getting stuck in water.
But it would allow you to swim when you're most probably crap at swimming, because you're just a piece of metal.
Yeah, but no, I'll run then.
How much glory do we have?
There are 3 points of glory.
Okay, I'm going to spend 1, if everyone's cool with that, to add a die to my athletics roll to help Fortran get out.
Sure. Because I'm with him, do we add anything from me?
You can just make a athletics roll as well.
I don't have athletics.
Well, you just roll your basic strength, then, don't you?
Yeah.
I have 3. First, what's the phrase? I have 3 6s and 2 5s.
Wow, 3 6s. Okay. Well, then I think there's enough narrative declaration there. You literally just help. You pick him up, dragging him as quickly as he can. The servos in his legs, you're whining at how quick, trying to keep up with it. And you leg it to the door. You're all at the door, with Danica looking in terror at watching what could well go completely wrong. The water mains burst, beginning to flood the area. The doors open long enough for you guys to run out, meaning all that's left is on this turn is for Rufio to make a athletics roll to jump through the door before it slams shut on you. There are warning lights flashing at this moment.
Noble sacrifice.
Noble sacrifice.
This is it. This is the roll to end all rolls. If this
Do you
works,
want to spend some glory?
It works. If it doesn't work, well, no one got to shoot Rufio, unfortunately.
Sister Marianne's going to be very upset with you if you die now.
Says you, I have my hand on my bolt pistol.
Yeah, I was going to say. I stab him and then...
It might be okay,
this is
everyone.
The door closes, we all shoot you and stab you.
I got 4 icons. Is that enough to make it through?
Not quite. You're going to have to spend a wrath.
Wait, did you have all success?
What? No, that was it was 4. So basically you're asking, do I want to spend a wrath point or do I want my character to die?
You're not die. You're not going to die, but something bad will happen.
Let's go with something bad happening.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Chris. Yeah, take a sip of that coffee.
Okay,
let's have things go south. Losing should be fun. Let's do this.
There's whiskey,
the door
coffee, we all know it.
slams shut as you lose your grip on it, and the water is already at knee level as it's beginning to fill the chamber that you're in. You're going to have to find some other way out by some means, or you're going to have to wrench open the door now against the water itself.
Okay.
Is the chamber we're in filling up with water or not?
No, you're on the other side now. You're outside.
I threw you through the door.
Yeah, we're safe.
I comlink and laugh through the comlink.
I'll ask the kid. Do you know if there's another way in or out of that corridor?
He's like thinking for a bit, and then he points up. There should be some like air ducts that possibly you could get through at the top, which also shut down, obviously, if there's flooding.
Okay.
Can you vox me that? Can the Vox even make it through?
Yeah, can the Vox?
Yeah, the Vox can make it through, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm laughing down the Vox at him at the moment.
I'll tell Rufio to look up. There should be some vents up there that you can crawl up to.
Okay. All right. I throw off my robe. Got to get rid of that. It's just going to weigh me down. Okay. All right. Pull out my chain sword. And I try to hack away at the vent to see if I can open it.
Yeah, you'll be able to open up the vent that way, yeah.
Okay, all right. I start crawling in. The water's rising. What's following me? Is there like some sort of a like not airlock, but like a some sort of a hatch or something up ahead that I might be able to crawl through or to open up?
There is a hatch. You're gonna have to basically be very, very quick with a strength test to undo the hatch and get through. It is very cramped. You are complete. You are doing this Die Hard style. You're like getting your way through the pipeway.
Okay. All right.
You got a lighter out.
Just use pure spite.
Is this just a strength test and that's it? Just strength?
Just strength.
Pure strength. Pure strength.
Headbutt it with your horns. Do your horns give you any bonuses to something like that?
They count as a knife. I got 4 icons and a 6 on the wrath die.
You open up the hatch, and as you do so, it's just in time because the water has risen already up behind you, and with the pressure, it forces you all the way through the air duct, and you are spat out at the other end in the, further down the corridor that everyone else is in, and at which point there you hear a clunk and another air duct above another hatch, emergency hatch closes off, and the water that's rushing down on top of you, is shut off, and you're there just on your back, soaked in water, having escaped potentially drowning.
I laugh harder.
All right, let's go find this Garrett asshole and let's just finish this because I've had enough of this. Kid, don't mess up again.
Right. Okay.
I tear a corner off my cloak and throw it to him and say, "Dry yourself."
Thanks.
Smell like wet goat.
He does smell like wet goats.
Ooh, yeah.
So you set off further down the corridor, and again, as you weave your way through the labyrinth of pipeways and corridors and collapsed domes, you eventually make your way to the sump pits. So the sump is where there's the runoff of various chemicals and pollutants and stuff from the refining of the world fish oil and so forth. And within this smaller dome, the domes are cavernous. They can fit. Some domes could fit an entire city within. Some would fit a town within, and fit entire factories, multi-story buildings, the whole works. Within this area, you eventually make your way through again the people that live here. There are numerous makeshift homes and buildings. Again, this place would have been used for industry, and now it has wastrels of the society of this hive. It's people that have no jobs, who are preyed upon by the gangs and by cults or whatever nefarious people that occupy the underhive. And the kid takes you further along and points out an algae storage silo, which has been toppled over and sliced in half, essentially. And it's there, which is being used as a temple, a hall, something for this cult of luxury. There are obviously some people dressed in, you could say what look kind of like they look well dressed for underhivers, patrolling armed with autoguns.
Great. They got guns. I'm at the end of my goddamn rope with these people. Commissar, you want to do the talking here, or just start doing the shooting? I don't know. I'll just leave it up to you.
I'm gonna roll stealth.
Of course, you're gonna roll stealth.
Anytime you walk into a room where there's people, just take it that you're gonna roll stealth. Yeah.
Ooh. 4 icons, 2 exalted icons, one of which is the wrath die.
Okay, so that gives you more glory. And 2 icons, and so you
4.
said
So
4 icons
and 2 exalted icons.
Okay, so you got oh wow, so that's like 6 successes? No, that's 8 successes. Yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah.
And into a ghost.
Right. You could pretty much here have let's just say you've got enough narrative control here that you can do pretty much anything you want to get into that building and not be seen. Even if that means if that means you walk up behind someone and slice their throat, by all means do so. You have full narrative control. Go wild.
I'm just gonna start assassinating guards.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start walking up behind them and slitting their throats and like dropping their bodies. And
well, okay. I mean, this should we just let him just take them all out, and then we'll go in. Well, what Commissar recommends letting Weir do his job.
He is so good at doing this job, and it's been so long since I've seen him do his good works.
I wouldn't leave bodies behind because that will up every body you leave behind will diminish your stealth score, and also for every person that you kill in the patrol, that is already diminishing your stealth score because they'll notice people are missing.
Yeah. So how many guards are patrolling?
I would say there's about anywhere between half dozen to about 8 of them.
Which is my stealth score. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out. So I'm going to take 2 of them out. And I'm going to like walk up, slit their throat, drag them into the shadows.
Yeah.
Walk up, slit their throat, drag them into the shadows. And then I'm going to kind of gauge and see, like, does that clear the way for the rest of the group, or should I take out 2 more?
That should allow a gap within the patrols, because some of the people patrolling, some of the guards patrolling will be on elevated positions, looking over the compound. Others will be doing a route around certain places. Some will be watching over entrances into the compound before they get to the building. So there is a clear gap within this patrol that the rest of the group can now sneak through and not be noticed.
I also use my auspex to see what's in the room that we're heading towards.
In the chamber. Oh, okay, yeah. Bring on the auspex. You don't really need to roll for this. You can tell there's possibly about anywhere between 20 to 50 people in the hall that you're going to.
And so it's like a grand hallway.
Well, no, it's a grand hall. It's like I said, it's a what would have been a silo.
Yeah.
Tipped on its sides, buried or sliced in half and buried into the ground. So it turned it into a an arched hallway. And when I say hall, it's completely makeshift and made of detritus and scrap metal.
Did you say between 20 and 50?
Yeah.
Fortran, you gotta get that auspex of yours retuned or something.
This is the one that Magus gave me.
Oh right, because your other one was even worse.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Between 20 and 50 possible combatants in there.
Well, I mean,
where's the sister with her flamer when you need her?
Yeah.
If they have guards patrolling, it is very possible that they don't actually have weaponry.
Yeah, force of numbers.
Yeah.
That's not an issue.
Yeah. Okay.
So, who wants to try and sneak in you can sneak in, try and get in, or you could just pretend you're a member of the cult or there to witness the prophet Garrett.
Now that I've murdered 2 of them.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to go in and pretend that.
Oh.
There. I ain't sneaking anywhere.
So quick player clarification here.
Okay.
In duties of commissar, infiltrating and pretending, is that heresy?
It's not a good look. That's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't know if we.
Okay.
I think sneaking in is okay then, but like actually like praying in doing some heretical prayers or something then is crossing the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't.
Just wanted a clarification on that because I am not stealthy.
Yeah, me neither.
I cleared a
plank.
You're gonna have to make a decision soon, or else they're gonna spot that people are missing from the patrol.
All right. Well, let's just stealth in. I'm stealthing in. stealth.
I'll stealth in.
Yeah, you just need to make stealth checks then.
Ooh, I've got 4 dice in this, bloody hell.
I have.
I will attempt to join in the stealthiness.
Okay, Mike, you're okay.
No. Can I?
Did me clearing part of the patrol give them any bonuses?
It gives them bonus in the sense that if they fail this, they could possibly walk past right now and then have to make an immediate stealth check to hide.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna spend one of my wrath to re-roll my failures.
Go on then.
How many wrath do we have again? It's 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to walk past this lot and then look for somewhere to hide. And then re-roll later.
Nope, I got nothing.
Okay, you basically, you guys find, you go through one of the gateways into the compound, and you try to sneak off, or you do sneak off. Rufio, you are hiding amongst some crates. You're making your way closer to one of the doorways that will let you into the hallway. Into the hall. Obviously, Danica is trying to do the same, but is not as quiet, or nowhere near as quiet. And ID Fortran?
Yeah, I got 0, so
you're just as noisy then. Fine.
I'm just as noisy. My joints are creaking because of the overworking from the running that Weir made me do.
And what's Weir doing? You watching all this, and where are you going to head to?
I'm watching, kind of like, and then I'm going to actually, I'm just going to slip inside by myself.
The way you're going to slip inside is, because you're up high, you can scale across some pipeway or cables and go in through the roof.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because there's like a makeshift skylight or something like that.
That makes sense. I like being
and you
up
sneak your way in.
anyway.
You are basically Batman at this point. You are that pretty sneaky and murderous.
I think I'm at, so if we're counting the 2 guards that I killed as negatives off my stealth, I'm at 6.
I would say you're at I would say it's -2 for each guard. So I would say it's still 4, but you're still good.
Okay.
You're still no one notices you as you get in. Right. So those of you that have failed your stealth rolls so far, you really do need to make a stealth check now, or else the patrol will notice you. Rufio, you're fine. You can basically sneak in a door or through a window, or maybe there's a hole at the base of the of the side of the wall.
Yeah,
nice and dirty.
I'll crawl through a hole.
Yeah, you crawl through a hole.
Glory left?
There are 3 points of glory.
Could I spend a glory to add another dice to my roll?
Yeah, sure. If everyone wants you to.
Everyone.
How many dice are you rolling here?
2.
Oh. Yeah, add a dice. Add a dice.
Yeah.
Do it. Ooh.
Oh, I got a 6 on my wrath die.
Oh, excellent. So that gets the glory back up and counts as 2 successes.
I've got 2 exalted, with one of them being on the wrath dice as well.
Oh, wow. Cool. So up to 4 glory, and you both sneak your way into a door which is not being watched by any guards.
Oh, good.
Sweet.
So you're all inside. Where is up high in the essentially the where all the lighting rigging is kept, and you are looking down on the hallway onto this hall. The rest of you kind of work your way through, and then try and essentially, now you're within the building. You, in some respects, you're able to then blend in with the rest of the crowd, who are all just workers, wearing all various garb. I say workers; they're workers, or they're just scum of the Underhive. And you are slowly brought into, you work your way into the main hall. And there are numerous there are some banners that have been made from various pieces of cloth that they've mostly reclaimed. It's very patchwork. The iconography means nothing to you. Nothing that stands out you would go is heresy in any particular way. It's nothing that you know of, like the dark gods of chaos and their servants. But it's clearly not that of the Imperial Church. A hush falls amongst the 100 or so that fill this meeting hall as a figure walks onto the raised dais at the end. It looks like he's a slim man, but it's difficult to tell from where you are. The figure is in contrast to those below him, where they wear dirty rags and work overalls. He wears a lilac-coloured shirt. His hair is, where their hair is matted and dull, his is shiny and wavy. He's clearly washed. He's had the full L'Oreal experience. But where they are huddled and desperate, he is smiling and open. As soon as all the attention's upon him, there's also burning incense. The place smells intoxicating, and it banishes any sense that you are in the dirtiest depths of the underhive. Welcome to you all, those who are already enlightened, and to those who are new and wish to be enlightened. All are welcome. All are those of you are welcome to enjoy what I give you. I am Garrett, and I will proclaim to you how you can find enlightenment. You have been born in darkness and have worked to the bone and died here and have no knowledge of anything different. This would be your entire life, your entire existence, because you knew of no other life that there could be. But there is another way, there is another life, and I am here to tell you of that life, to show you and let you feel, let you experience that has been denied you by those above. Your world is in rags for clothes and slop for food, and there is another way, and I will show you the way, and I will show you how to take it back. Only by following my lead can we make a new world, a world better for everyone. For this is not just how the world is. No, your world is like this because those above you, the ruling elite, look down upon us. And I know the God Emperor just as they do. And they are liars. The God Emperor wishes us to be enlightened. We work hard so we can be given gifts and brought to a more glorious experience, a more glorious world that is denied to us by those sinners above. They deny you food, they deny you clothing, they deny you future, and they deny you happiness. As he says all this, attendants start moving around the congregation, and they begin to pass around items. These items you recognize as things stolen from the murders. These are things that have been denied you. It is you who can claim them back. Look at this soft shirt. You work and toil, so some fop can wear something so beautiful and grace his skin while he sits around smoking narcotics like some desperate, sinful, decadent fool. They use this wonderful perfume on themselves while we have to smell like shit and filth. He holds up a bunch of vibrant, succulent purple grapes. Look at this food, again denied us, and yet there they are, bringing it from numerous worlds, stars that you will never see, stars you will never see because you are beneath a steel sky. As the items are passed around, there are various items. There is the Soriata Seraphim lamp, the purple shirt, the exotic rug. These items are marveled at. The congregation coos and paws upon it. The touch and sensations as they rub them against their skin. There's almost a sense of ecstasy within the crowd as they experience all this. Some are even brought to tears by this experience. Still, there is more. The man, Garrett, continues. The elite of the upper hive will no longer hoard themselves these pleasures. All are worthy of them. You deserve to indulge in such pleasure and happiness too, and I'm here to achieve that. He brings onto stage a large, oily bag. From this bag, you begin to note, is this an oily bag? Interesting. You remember oil stains, don't you? There is a doom coming, a great leveling. I've dreamt of it night after night. It will be like
It will be like the wild hunt we fear from those creatures that haunt us every few cycles. But no, this will be our leveling. This will be our wild hunt. I have seen the hive itself split and the top spire fall to the ocean below. I have taken this as a prophecy, and on your behalf I have acted upon it. I tore down the head of state. And he produces from the bag a severed head, and you recognize this. The slack, lifeless face, blood is obviously congealed, but some entrails that make up the neck slop onto the floor. It is the head of Governor Veneratio, who was murdered just nights ago. Curiously, it looks like the top of the head has been opened and the brain removed. We will work together to even the score. You will go out and spread the word of the cult of luxury and recruit more to our cause. This is our moment. And we will, and he looks back at the severed head of Ridders. I will topple more than just this one tyrant at a time. We will topple all of his kind and take back what is our own right. The crowd is now whipped up into a frenzy and fervor. Cheers are going up. Some are calling out Garrett's name. Garrett! 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 Someone has literally just plucked away a grape, one small grape, and has just smashed it into their face, smothering themselves in the juicy fruit. And it's just going, it's beautiful! It's beautiful! What do you do?
While he's been talking, can I have
of course.
maneuvered above him?
Yep.
Cool. So I think we have a loose plan. As much of a plan as I feel like we need. I'm gonna drop with my power blades out.
I was gonna say, is this that scene in Batman where he drops down into the museum? Is that kind of what you're going for?
A little bit, yeah. But I'm gonna basically land on / behind Garrett and slice one of his legs off.
Wow.
With one of my power blades.
Right, let me see. Okay. Yeah, so you get because it's this will initiate combat, obviously. You will get +2 dice bonus and +2 extra dice on the damage if you hit.
Okay.
You just get to roll to attack with +2 dice. So obviously, there's at this moment there'll be the classic dun 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 dun, and you just drop down. You know, your cloak billowing around you. You are literally like the angel of death of the God Emperor as you land on the dais.
That would be 10 with
Shit.
A 6 on the Wrath die.
Right.
Well.
Oh,
and,
wow.
I had 4 exalted icons.
Okay. Right. So
I have a lot to attack.
So hold on. How many? Let me get this right. So he has a defense of. Let me look at this. Oh my god, this is so insane. He's got a defense of 3. He's got a defense of 3, and you got how many successes?
10 total. With
how many of them are 6s?
4 of them.
4 6s.
Yes.
Right. And you got a 6 on the Wrath die, so
Mm-hmm.
it's technically a critical hit. Right. So you've hit. Okay. Now you've got +2 extra damage on the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Now those 6s, you can shift as many of those you want to be extra damage, so long as you have still enough successes to have hit.
So my power blades do 5 damage.
Yep.
And already have 4 extra damage dice.
So you've now got 6 extra damage standard due to the sneak attack.
So I would be rolling 11 dice for damage?
No, so you do 5 basic damage,
Okay.
and every success on extra damage dice adds an extra point of damage.
I don't want to kill him.
No, but I mean, we have enough narrative control that we know what you're going for.
Okay.
We will just see how far you essentially incapacitate him. how many successes did you get in total first? In total, you said you got 10. So I think you can therefore shift at least.
Of the sixes?
You can shift pretty much all of your extra. You can shift all your 6s if you want to be extra damage dice, and you still have enough successes to have hit.
Yeah.
We want the critical.
If I'm right on the
hit
maths, I think I'm right. At least
2.
3 of them.
I'll do 2.
Shift 2. Okay, so that's 2. So you've got 5 damage plus 4 extra damage plus 2 for stealth.
Yep.
So that's 2 more extra damage plus the 2 extra damage you got. So in total, 8 dice. You roll 8 dice to see how much damage they do on top of the 5.
Do I include the wrath die?
No wrath die on this.
Okay.
Where does he get those wonderful toys? Well, he requisitions them off a rogue trader ship. How much damage did you get?
So that would be 4 more.
4 more. So you've done 9 damage total. Okay, it slices into his leg. That's good because he is wearing armor. So
I ignore 2 armor.
You ignore 2 armor. Oh yeah, because it's a power weapon, isn't it? Because it's got AP -2. Okay, so that's armor is so it's basically 2 extra damage on him. So I said 1, so you do 3 points of damage to him. Let me see what his health is. I can't find things on my sheet. There we go. Okay, that's he's on that, and then you've got to roll on the critical hit table.
Oh.
Which I have to go find.
Okay.
So on the critical hit table, there we go, critical hits. You roll a D66.
Okay.
So you roll, you know what a D66 is. You just roll 1 6 is the 10s, and the other 6 is the units.
Yep. 65.
65. Oh, wow. Right. It won't do... Now, this is called appalling detonation, but I think we can pretty much be happy at what happens. Because appalling detonation would mean you hit the foe's volatile war gear and there's some explosion. I don't think that is appropriate for this. So I think we can be quite happy that you've rolled high enough that, and I think, let me just check extra damage critical hit table. You can do some other things with critical hits. I think you can.
Sever a limb?
The arteries that he doesn't.
I think you can spend a wrath point, is it not, to upgrade the critical hit? Can someone check that for me?
Let's just go with that because the next one is grisly amputation,
which is exactly what you're
going for.
I will absolutely spend a wrath
point. You can use the
wrath
dice to make.
You spend a wrath point. His leg goes flying off into the crowd. Someone grabs it and looks at the fine clothing that's still attached to it, and is like, oh, and starts rubbing it on their face, smearing themselves in blood.
Yes.
Garrett falls, crying in pain, his leg gushing blood. Everyone starts screaming and exiting the hall.
No. Actually, I think this is. I will spend a wrath point to do this, and get some narrative control right here. As people are trying to run for the exit, Rufio steps out, and as we know, no longer has a cloak on, bars the door, and goes, "We were sent by the Emperor as punishment for this heresy. Look upon your cult leader and watch as he suffers, and remember and repent. Bow down and repent."
So this is an intimidation roll.
I think it is.
Go for it.
Are there any other people kind of on the stage with him?
There are some people, yes. There are his servants. You can basically, if you want, take pot shots at them.
Yeah. I was going to. I'm going to start assassinating.
That'll be soon because Ian got his turn first as a sneak attack. Mike has got his turn in doing this wonderful narration. 5 successes. Yeah, people start weeping and fall to their knees and start trying to say some prayer to the God Emperor, like trying to ask for forgiveness. People start turning on each other even and start ripping each other apart, trying to prove who is the most faithful. And yes, one of the cultists of Garrett's is going to turn on Weir, seeing what's happened, and draws his heavy bludgeon, which is some like mace with like pipe with some heavy bolts on the end of it, and turns to take a swipe at you.
Oh, okay.
What is your defense?
Let's see. I'm no longer in stealth, so my defense is a 3.
I'll have defense.
Your defense is a 3, and that is a hit, and it is critical hit.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. And let's see, what's the damage then? They've hit. So, hold on, what is your defense again, you said?
My defense is a 3.
3, yeah, okay, so they've
And then I have
definitely
2
hit.
armor.
I'll shift that into extra damage, and it does damage 4 plus 2, so plus 3, and it does a brutal. What does brutal do again? I think that upgrades my damage, doesn't it? On the weapon traits. If someone has weapon traits open, that would be brilliant.
Yeah,
I do actually.
Yeah, it means a 5 and a 6 does 2 damage.
Yeah, extra damage dice.
Yeah, so when you roll extra damage dice, so it does no extra damage on top of. Oh, it does 1 point of damage. So it does 5 points of damage in total. What's your armor?
2.
2. So you take 3 wounds.
Okay. Sorry, just to clarify. So resilience factor in.
No, so resilience is your armor, is your toughness plus armor. So yeah, it has to beat that actually to do any damage. No, it doesn't then. So yeah, it hits your unarmored undersuit. You take a step back. You're you're insulted. This filth tried to attack you. You're really pissed off. Which means it's now ID Fortran's go. Do you want to do?
I want to shoot the one that just attacked Weir because I want the fun.
Yeah,
I want to see how annoyed he gets when I take his kill.
You bring out your out from under your cloak, your galvanic rifle. The power coils hum into life, and a bolt of plasma is going to be snapped off.
I've got rapid fire. What does that do?
Rapid fire on the weapon.
Yeah.
It means you can spend a ammo, and you get to add.
If you hit with a rapid fire weapon at short range, so what range am I at?
You're definitely at short.
Okay, I gain extra damage dice equal to the rapid fire rating.
Yes, if you spend if you hit, yeah.
Yeah, if I hit, okay. I'm going to spend a wrath point to re-roll that.
Okay.
Because there are 6 ones there.
Wow.
Please don't hit me.
Oh, that's much better. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 icons.
8 icons. Okay, so yeah, you've definitely hit. And how much damage do you want to do?
Well, okay. So I've got 4 icons and 2 exalted icons. So
yeah, you can shift the exalted icons.
Cool, because that makes it even better. I do 10 damage.
Yeah, okay. You blow a hole through his chest. This plasma bolt just incinerates his entire organs as it passes through, and he slumps down in front of Weir.
Yeah, but I have rending, which allows me to add on AP to this, and it gets really ridiculous the more.
The Garrett, who is rolling on the floor in pain, clutching his leg, screams out. So I'm going to use spend a ruin point finally, and he screams out, "Kill them! Kill the unbelievers!" And this basically means, as an immediate free action, I get to make a mob attack with the cultists, so it counts as +5 dice on all their attacks and all their damage.
Oh.
And they're going to turn on. ID Fortran, who's shooting at them, because they're going to turn on someone that's obvious at this moment. So the cultists. Let's see.
I have defense 1, just to let you know.
Oh wow. Okay. So they're definitely going to hit you. Let me just make sure I'm doing mobs correct, because I don't want to screw you over with this. Come on. Why is this?
Mobs, they don't do much damage. And they're really easy to take out.
I'm just trying to find
they have
relevant
wounds.
bit with mobs. So I'm just going to roll to attack. They're also going to critical hit you. So they've definitely hit. They're going to shift. They can only shift 2 into damage.
I've got resilience of 9 though.
You've got a resilience of 9. Okay. They're
very auto-curious armor.
They're going to basically lunge on you with their knives because they're just a band of cultists with knives. So that's damage 2 with 2 extra damage. Add 2 for that, and add another lot for the mob. And your resilience is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're basically brought down onto the ground as they're trying to stab at you, but obviously they're just hitting metal. They're just ping, 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 scratching and clawing at you. Your robes are being torn apart as they, just try and harm you, but have no luck at piercing your cybernetics to get through to the flesh or your armor. Danica, Commissar.
I'm going to do what I do best.
She's going to take out a bolt pistol and start gunning down people in large amounts?
No, I am actually going to go up on stage where Garrett is.
Yeah.
And I am going to, because my voice carries.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I am going to try to bring some order to this chaos and use my leadership skills to we're gonna rouse those who truly believe in the emperor, to repent by trial by blood.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. So you're just going to make a leadership action. Go on then.
Yep.
Do you want to spend some glory? There's 4 glory points to be used here.
I will. Sure. Let's spend a glory, and I'll roll 14 dice instead of 13.
What?
I told you. I do one thing and one thing really well.
How the heck?
I do one thing and one thing really well too. It's just mine's murder.
Yeah, mine's murder at a distance.
Hey, Chris approved this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh man, can I spend one of my wrath to re-roll my?
Yes.
Yes.
Do it. Do it.
Okay, I will do that. Much better. All right, so I did not get any 6s, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 successes total. 9 icons.
Oh wow. There's yeah. People start turning on each other. It's a complete bloodbath. There was people numbered in the hundreds. I think you could be quite happy that at least a good quarter or a third of people are murdered as a result of this, possibly more. People are being immolated. Literally, there are pyres being started for you. But yeah, they're cowed by you reciting everything you know about the God Emperor. You're doing a small sermon at this moment as executions are taking place.
Awesome.
Well,
that is
managed to convince them to kill themselves.
There are still 1 or 2 cultists that are loyal to Garrett's cause. One of them is going to turn on you and try and shut you up and take a shot. Someone could spend a wrath point and take the initiative and steal an action if you want.
Are
I
they
don't
pulling
have
out a
any
gun?
wrath points left.
Are they pulling out a gun or are they pulling out a?
They're pulling out an auto gun. Yeah.
I'm just gonna cut their hand off.
Go on then.
So I'll spend a wrath. Oh, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 8. 7 with 2 exalted icons.
Okay, you can shift the 2 exalted icons into extra damage.
I'm going to shift one of them into causing a bleeding condition.
Oh, nice.
And then the other one into extra damage. So
Yeah,
that's 7 dice for extra damage?
No, because you've got how many extra damage dice do you normally have? 4.
4.
So you're up to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
One, two. So that's 3 in addition to the 5 it already does.
Yeah, you slice through. Their hand goes flying off into the crowd. He is obviously spewing blood from the stump of his wrist and drops to the ground, crying out in pain. I think you're very close to basically pacifying the entire chamber.
It's Glory to seize the initiative.
Oh, is it Glory? Well, there you go.
Well, we've got
Same
loads of
difference.
Glory anyway.
As everyone's
loads of
fine with
glory.
it, yeah, I'm going to spend that.
You can swap it out. It's fine. Excellent. There isn't. I mean, I think you've pretty much pacified everyone. I think at this point, no one's gonna want to try it on with you. Right. Let's move forward then. Actually, we'll do. There is one last thing. One person that possibly might be of importance here. Let me just find the appropriate thing. Garrett cries out once more and shouts out a name, and from amongst the crowd strides forward a what can only be described as a pit slave. She is head to toe covered in spiked armor and is carrying a chainsword. And he's just on the verge of passing out, and he just points at Weir. Kill him, give me order, and kill this bastard for me. Take him down in honorable combat for me. The pit slave has like a shock of like a punk hairstyle that's in multiple colors, and is striding forward with this huge, chainsword. She points it in your direction. Do you have honor? Do you have honor to stand up for your pitiful god emperor?
I will reach up and I will take the skull mask off. So Weir's face is just a mess of raw wounds and scar tissue. Because he has flayed his own face off. And I will set the mask down. Actually, I will hand it to Danica. And I will draw my second power blade.
Wow.
I will let him do his honorable combat, and I will hold his hoops.
Yeah, I'm not messing with this.
I sit up and start giggling maniacally as I know what's about to happen.
We're smiling. just like...
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a murderous psychopath smile. Go get him.
Weir gets to go first then, as always in all these things. Unless I'm going to spend a ruin and let her get a strike in first. As you essentially, the crowd of now, pacified cultists at this moment have spread out, and there's kind of a area that's been amongst them where you can fight. Or maybe you're going to fight on the dais as they stride up. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. I don't leave the dais. I'm up there.
No. Excellent. And yeah, they're going to be carrying their. Let's make it actually. Yeah, they've got their chainsword, and she circles you and lunges towards you. So let's see what's their melee. Default. No. Okay, so it's that many dice. And your defense is what, 3?
My defense is 3, yes. Can I try to parry?
You can do an action that can increase your defense. You can do an all-out defense. There's no technical parry in this. Let me see where that action is. Actions. combat actions, you can make a... Yeah, you can do an all-out defense, I believe, which would block things. Or you can do... Let me see, where's the attack options? Full defense is for every... To use a full defense action, you focus on dodging. Your speed is reduced by half. You must make an initiative test. Until the end of your turn, your defense increases by 1. Well, +1 for every icon that you got on the initiative test. So you get 1 +1 for every one that you get. Okay. You can activate full defense as a reflexive action. If you do so, you can't perform movement, combat actions, or simple actions until the next turn. But essentially, it means you've negated my taking the initiative.
I'm going to do that.
So yeah, if you roll your initiative.
Okay. Including wrath.
Yep.
Alrighty. That will be 2, and one of them is an exalted icon.
2, and one of them is exalted icon. Okay, so that's 3 then in total, is it?
Yep.
Okay, so that gives you +4 defense, and then so your defense now is like
7.
ridiculously high. Is 7. Yeah, they completely miss you. They get a 1 actually on their wrath die. Yes, I'm going to give you a narrative opening. They messed up. You've got an opening. You can make a free attack.
Oh, I'm going to try to
overlunge. You sidestep as this chainsaw swipes down past you and cuts into the die, sending splinters of wood everywhere.
I'm gonna.
You can
attempt to just behead her. It's just right there.
Pirouette and do a beheading.
Use all the glory. The glory is yours.
Yeah.
2 glory points to go. Go for it.
I will spend both of it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Go for it. Murder them.
Make the God Emperor proud.
I'm going to spend my wrath point as well and re-roll my failures.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that. So that's...
Do we feel sorry for this person or not?
No, not really. Their defense is 3.
It's a 10 with 2 exalted icons, which I will transfer into damage.
Yep. Okay, roll for damage. Roll. So you've got 5 damage plus 6 extra damage then in total. So roll 6 dice.
Okay. One, 2, 5. One of them is an exalted icon.
5. Okay. So that's 5 plus 6 damage then in total. Yeah, yeah. They've not got enough wings for this. Yeah, you spin round and literally pirouette, and their head goes clean off their shoulders, and flying into the crowd. Someone catched it and is looking at it going, "Blessed be the Emperor! Blessed be the Emperor!"
Damn straight.
Yes, yes. All of you look up there and see the Emperor's wrath. See the wrath of the faceless one, but also behold the compassion and the leadership of the God Emperor. And pointing at Commissar Danica.
Yeah. With that, the crowd and any cultists that were ever loyal to Garrett or his bodyguard / fanatic, lay down their weapons. You mostly take the time to execute anyone that you don't trust, because Danica is that type of person.
Yep.
It is brutal. And you have voxed in to the enforcers that there is a potential riot that needs to be placated. And in a few hours, it doesn't take long until, yes, you do have enforcers there. People are rounded up. Again, even more executions take place. And there's mostly a third of the people that fill that hall are left and are taken off to be enslaved in some way or turned into servitors or something worse, or sent off to be turned into corpse starch. And you find upon Garrett's body, again, you've recovered the stolen items, or at least some of them. You also find on his body a blood-stained model T198 portable power cutter, which ID Fortran you recognize is the item which would have been cutting through and severing body parts. Also, you have the bag that has the head of Governor Veneratio. And hours later, you are able to reveal this to Veronius. You're able to reveal this over the hollow vox to Severina Veronius, your captain, Aurelius, and Praetor Borst. And there is shock, though surprisingly, when you're there in their opulent hall, revealing this information and Veneratio's severed head, they don't seem to have any surprise. They're shocked, but not surprised by the turn of events. It's as if they were expecting him to have turned up dead, though possibly not in this manner. Over the course of days, the death of the governor is kept secret as they begin to fabricate a story for how Governor Veneratio has died and how his replacement will be put into the seat of power to, of course, create stability within the hive. There is obviously no further murders, and Borst's plan is to keep the peace and ensure that there is enforcers in that area and hunt down any other stragglers that may well be linked to the cult of luxury. Of course, because of the murders, still, Giga Vaton, who's the noble that has been who was implicated for these murders, you took into custody. What do you want to have done with him? Do you want him to go free, or do you want to follow Praetor Borst's plan that he's implicated for the murders and executed for them? Again, to fabricate the story of what happened.
I have no problem with that. I've been told to kill him anyway, so the magus wants him dead.
I dealt with the heresy. I don't care.
This is the 40K universe, unfortunately. So it's
really.
There's no. Well, I mean, I'd like to put in my 2 cents. For the commissar, would be my recommendation to not kill this individual. That would only play into the hands of these decadent nobles who really were failing at their own jobs, and we need them to not be able to just pin this individual as a scapegoat. They will need to they'll need to suffer a little bit.
I fully agree, and I believe the nobles have gotten too comfortable in their position.
Indeed, if they're allowing such heretical cults to exist in the Underhive, spreading perhaps even up to the highest spires of these hives here, they've clearly been misguided these last few cycles.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep him alive with the expectation that the nobles will continue to strive to do better. And I will make a recommendation to Severina that increased random inspections of the full hive are required of this planet.
Severina, over the Holovox, nods knowingly and accepting the guidance, but she has another question as she looks, seemingly tries to look at what's presented on her own comm system.
Yeah.
And she speaks up. I have one further question for you. While you may have covered Veneratio's head, and it seems he was the victim of this cult, I'm still concerned. Where are the other body parts, and what happened to Veneratio's brain?
That is exactly why I believe that this is not closed, and why I'm not going to execute the individual.
Indeed. And for that reason, I want you to stay stationed on Charybdion for the meantime and to stay alert. For now, Praetor will be acting governor, and he should assume you have full jurisdiction to conduct any investigations you wish of any part of the hive or other hives on this world. Well done, Commissar and others. You will be rewarded in due course when you return to the ship. But for now, you have your orders. And that's where we're going to leave it. And we can pick up everything with the next story, which is called Sleepwalker.
Uh-oh.
Wow, we rounded that up quickly. You really didn't have to chase down everyone. You just executed them on the spot kind of job and dropped out of the shadows and whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah, cult assassin, that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah, murder. It's a thing.
Sneaky murder death.
Right. So, yes, so if you've been watching this, obviously, again, you can find out everything you want at www.darker-days.org. You can go over to our Twitter at Darker Days Radio. You can go over to our Instagram where there are pictures of toy soldiers. I am painting some stuff for Blackstone Fortress, and there are stuff like Traitor Guard or Beastman that I'm painting currently. Also, check out our reviews on Dark Days Radio. We've just recently reviewed the Alien RPG, so I'm sure at some point we will want to run that. Ian, have you run that on Gehenna Gaming?
It has been run on Gehenna Gaming, but I haven't run it yet.
Yeah,
I have it. I'm prepping a.
So there is an episode. There's an episode somewhere that people can get to for that.
Yes,
cool.
Over on our YouTube.
Obviously, if you're watching this live right now, you're in the last few hours of Play It Forward on Drive-Thru RPG. So there's lots of things at 20% off, and all the royalties go straight back to the creators. That includes our books on the Storyteller's Vault. Then we've got, I think that's pretty much it, other than we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with more Wrath and Glory, and hopefully we'll be joined by Chig, and at some point we will have some potentially other players slotted in as we swap in and out our crew as we see fit, and can do that in a creative, fun manner. Is there anything else to round out the end of this episode?
Just if you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to our Twitch channel for more content. You can find the Session 0 and the first episode over on YouTube. This one will be up next week, and subscribe over there to give us more support. Follow us, Gehenna Gaming, across all platforms where platforms exist that you can follow things. Make sure you check out the Darker Days Radio podcast, check out the Gehenna Gaming podcast, and tune in Discords, which I'll just someone just linked in chat for me.
And there's also some more cool stuff coming up. There is a virtual con being run by Fanboy3. David is running Soulbound.
Yes, I am. I'm going to be running the scenario that I wrote for the Cities of Flame.
Excellent, which is coming out from Cubicle 7 soon enough.
Awesome.
And also we've got a GM who is running for us Ascension Night, our V5 demo. So Paul's running that. And plus there are 2 videos that we have as part of the virtual con. One is about Wrath and Glory, and the other one is about Chronicles of Darkness. It's basically an extended secret frequency. So please go over to that. Again, there will be info, links, blah, 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 that you can get to all that, because that's very soon. That's like next weekend.
Next Sunday. It's next Sunday.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, follow, subscribe, do all those fun things, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Well, I'll see people in 2 days, but hey.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Cheers.
Yeah.